Yep, what's good people? We are back for another Wednesday, and I have a fixed computer. And man, I tell you what, it took me 4 days to get this thing uh back in the correct fashion. And when I tell you, I had to go and start using MS-DOS prompts and put in script, and it was bad. It was bad. I had to delete a lot of stuff off of it, put things back on, and it took me all day to do it. So yeah.
James, I gotta pop real quick. I'll be back.
All right, I got you, Deuce. I got you. So with that being said, let's excuse me. Let's hop into it as always. Let's run around the room, see how everybody been doing. Wig, we'll start with you. How you been doing this week, bro?
Hey, every week is a good week, man. We can always be doing worse, so I thank God for my problems.
So you're right. Lynn, how about you?
So far, so good. You know, I like a short week. Always feel more productive when I'm working 4 days instead of 5. So can't complain.
My bad. That was me.
No problem.
That was me. All right, yeah. Again, still fixing my computer. Got some bugs to work out. My bad, fellas. My bad. So short week. How you got a short week?
Monday, I didn't work. Did you work Monday?
Oh, that's right. I don't.
You forgot already?
I did.
You taking those dead servicemen for granted and win. Look at you.
And they are part of what afforded me that day off.
There you go.
Hey, Glass, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because I can't hear nobody else talking.
Oh, so what you have to do is let me see if I can. I won't be able to do that for you. You have to exit off the main stage and then come back.
Come back. Okay, I'll do that right now. Give me 1 second.
All right. Yep. So yeah, I did take them for granted, and I can't even remember what I did Monday. As a matter of fact, I feel horrible about that now, man. But yeah, it is a short week. It absolutely is. What'd you get into Monday?
Just relax. Just relax, chill. Hung out with my girlfriend.
Okay.
Life is good.
Yeah, that's the way to be. Give me 1 second. Pull this one out and wait. What? There we go. I got you, Wig. Wig using that Obama internet.
Woo. My man can't get a break.
He cannot. That's wild. So just relaxed. And we are up to you. Rich, how has your week been so far?
Let's get to it.
Let's. So this evening, I wanted to jump into. Give me 1 second. There we go. I ended up hitting something I didn't need to. I wanted to get into something that we touched on. Yeah, we try to go back out and then come back on. Because I think he's hurting me too. Pull him out. He's hurting me with that too. So it's StreamYard updates, man. StreamYard updates. There you go. Now you look like you're working a little bit. Look like we're cooking with grease, Wig. How has your week been?
Hey, like I said, it's been a good week, man. I was gonna lie and say I'm sorry to hear about Pam Bundy, but You want
Hey,
people to say good. You want people to say good things about you when you're sick and when you're gone. Do good things when you're alive.
yeah, yeah, that's
So,
part of it also.
so I'm praying for the hospital.
Damn,
Man,
cold
Come on,
blooded.
Mr. Wig. Now, come on, Mr. Wig.
God, she wasn't in there long enough for you to
Well,
hang up.
I'm praying, and that go for Mitch McConnell too. I'm praying for the hospital.
Wow.
Okay, Mr. Wig. All right.
Hey,
Listen, we don't want no one to have cancer, them or their family members, no matter if they're our enemies or not.
Let me ask you a question. How many lives you think she affected by the things that she did?
That doesn't matter. I don't
Oh, it
want anyone.
don't. It don't matter.
It does not because
Oh, well,
hold
say it
on.
don't matter to you.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on, Mr. Wig. When it comes to righteousness, whether you're my enemy or my foe, or my friend or my associate or family member, I don't want no one to have to battle cancer. Period.
And that's our downfall because we care more than they do.
No, that's not our downfall. That's the righteousness that God gave me. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. You okay. I like that for you.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like that for you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm gonna be praying for her.
Okay. All right.
and I'm with you on that. I was talking to Maya last night, as a matter of fact. It was last night or this morning. I can't remember. They tend to run together. But what I have to say is, one of my pushes against assimilation, and I put this in the text thread, is I'm not going to assimilate like them because I'm not a savage, and so I can't assimilate into savagery, right? And the reciprocity that you have to have. You know what? I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that because this topic actually kind of deals with what we're talking about here. So I'll come back to that. But tonight we are talking about the NAACP, not the NCAA, which I accidentally typed. I don't know what. Well, it was a Freudian slip. But the NAACP out of bounds boycott. And I have the actual website, NAACP's website, pulled up. And what I want to do before we jump too far into it is I want to actually read what their website says their aim is, right? That way we don't have to well, it's not us so much, but there's no guessing, and the audience can hear and understand what the NAACP is pushed as well, and we can navigate it from that space forward. So I am going to add the NAACP's actual page. This is their website, and I have their the out of bounds information pulled up as we can all see. And going through this, what it does, first and foremost, when you go to the NAACP's webpage to look this information up, is it begins to give background on what's happening and why they're doing it. NAACP calls on Black athletes and fans to withhold support of public schools in states attacking Black voting rights. That is their lead in. The first paragraph begins to give background, and it's the for immediate release, and it starts on May 19th. So I'll read this somewhat quick so we can get to the nitty gritty of what it's actually talking about. All right. So Washington, the NAACP today launched the Out of Bounds campaign, a national call of for Black athletes, families, fans, alumni, and consumers to withhold athletic and financial support from public universities in states that have moved to limit, weaken, or erase Black voting representation in the wake of the Supreme Court's 6-3 ruling in Louisiana versus Calais, which gutted what was left of the Voting Rights Act. The NAACP identified 8 priority states: Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, South Carolina, Texas, and Georgia, and targeted flagship public athletic programs generating more than $100 million in annual revenue that continue to recruit Black athletes while their state governments dismantle the political power of Black communities. What these states have done is not a policy disagreement. It is a sprint to embrace Black political power, said Derek Johnson, president and CEO of NAACP. These actions happen in days, in some cases in hours, of a Supreme Court ruling that gives extremist lawmakers a playbook to erode the Black representation. The NAACP will not watch the same institutions that depend on Black athletic prowess to fill their stadiums and their bank accounts remain silent while their states strip Black communities of their voice. Out of bounds is our answer. We are naming the contradiction, and we are calling on Black athletes, families, fans, and consumers to act on it. The same power that built these programs can be redirected, and it will be. And that's the background, and I will go to, let me find my place again, because I had it pulled up exactly where I wanted it to be. Okay, it is, okay, here we are. I started this paragraph. This generation of Black athletes understands something that those who came before them were never afforded the chance to say so plainly. Your talent is yours, and so is your community's political power, said Talik McMillan, National Director, Youth and College Division in NAACP. These are not separate issues. The state that is working to erase your grandmother's congressional district is the same state whose governor will stand on the field and celebrate your touchdown or game-winning shot. We are asking young people, recruits, current athletes, fans to see that connection clearly and to action on it. The Out of Bounds campaign is about redirecting what has always been ours, power and perseverance. The campaign issues calls to action across 3 audiences. Black athletes and recruits are asked to withhold commitments from targeted programs to ask coaches and athletic directors where their universities stand on voting rights and to visit and seriously consider HBCUs. Current college athletes are asked to use their platforms to elevate the issue, to ask the institutional leadership for public statements opposing racial vote dilution, and to consider all available options under the transfer portal. Fans, alumni, donors, and consumers are asked to stop purchasing tickets, merchandise, and licensed apparel from targeted programs and to redirect that spending to HBCUs. Their athletics programs, scholarships, funds, NIL collectives, bands, and alumni foundations. The Out of Bounds campaign will remain in effect until targeted states adopt state-level voting rights protections, repeal maps that dilute Black voting power, restore congressional and judicial districts that reflect the Black population's actual strength, and commitment to transparent, community-centered redistricting processes. Our sentiment is clear: no representation, no recruitment, no revenue. So that is the extent of what the NAACP is asking for when talking about the boycott, the Out of Bounds boycott. So the question that I will have for the panel, and it's generally the one of the main things that's argued about this whole thing is, and I'll start with you, Rich, on this. Should we be placing our student athletes in this position?
I support it.
And why?
Well, if Black folks down south say that their voting rights representation is being diluted, other than voting, what other financial alternative do they have to fight these states? Well, one way is through the Black athlete. And you said $100 million, so that should make some type of difference. And so, yeah, I don't see anything wrong. I support this the way I supported Colin Kaepernick taking his knee in the NFL. So I realized that he did not vote. But
wasn't registered. Was not registered.
There's that Gemini me coming out. So he wasn't registered to vote. So that was wrong. But his idea, his social justice movement or action of taking a knee, I support it. And I support those who don't want to stand for the flag, just like I support those who do stand for the flag, because that's your freedom of speech. And since the military has an agreement with the NFL to fly those military planes overhead of those games, and they have this agreement to play the national anthem, which I think is forced patriotism that should not be played at sports games because that's a recruiting tool for the military.
Mm-hmm.
Then, since you're going to force these NFL players into this situation, then they should have the right to say, no, we don't want to stand. So that was controversial when I supported that particular person of color. So me supporting this boycott may be another situation where it's controversial. I understand that. When I support Black Republicans, that's controversial. When I support Black folks who don't support the Democratic Party, that's controversial. When I support people when they say that marriage is between a man and a woman, that's controversial. When I say that boys born boys who want to be girls should not be able to participate in girl sports, that's controversial. So when you say things that are controversial, which probably this is one situation, the boycott, Black athletes boycotting the SEC, the question comes down to this. If Black folks in the South and in the North and the East and the West are saying that this is horrendous what the Supreme Court has done, which I don't find nothing horrendous about it. It should have did it back in 2013 and gotten it over with. But if they say it's this horrendous and we must take action outside of voting, well, this is a certified financial action that can make an impact. I stop there.
Okay. Yeah, let's Lynn, where are you at on this?
I believe that making young athletes that are only going to be able to monetize their talents for a very short period of time, I don't think they should be a part of this. And I posted in the group chat today the race between the old black man and the young black man, Al Green versus Menifee.
Yeah.
I asked you guys to look at the amount of votes that were cast. I don't know if anybody did that, but my problem is with registered Black voters that don't vote.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have to ask a question.
Yes.
Between the older black man, Al Green, and the younger black man, Mr. Menifee, what was the vote count?
It was under 100,000.
Okay. Now, the only reason why I interrupted you, because I was counting some other votes. And so when I was counting the votes, oh boy, I know I got it right here. I was counting the votes for the U.S. Senate, the Republican runoff. Okay.
Yep.
So what I counted, oh God, let me get to it.
Was hundreds of thousands of votes.
Right. But what I was really trying to count, oh man, this is burning me up because this was so important. That the total was 900,000. Now, the total for the Democratic primary between Jasmine and James, that thing was over 2.2 million.
Not votes.
Oh, yes.
No.
Okay, so let me go back because I have it typed out here. Hold on.
No, anyway, my point is this. I can't, and Richard, you said this because we have to listen to the people who complain, who don't register, and of course,
Lash, you can hear me?
don't vote.
I can't. Is anybody talking now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Keep having to go.
So you have
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, class?
register,
Yes.
and you
I'm
have
gonna go out and come back in
registered
again.
Black voters who don't vote. I don't know which is worse, but I think that's where the NAACP should be putting their energy, not on kids who have a small window to maximize and monetize their athletic talent. And see, you know what? Also, Richard, like you're talking about kids in the South, but there may be a kid from Los Angeles coming to LSU. He don't have nothing to do with New Orleans politics or Louisiana politics. He's there to play ball.
So I want to go back to something you said about the low black voter turnout, because I always said I wish a few months ago when that happened with Jasmine and James, you hadn't told me that, because that really got me going. So I'm gonna go back, and I went back and I counted 2026 March, Texas Senate primary. James Tallarico, 1,212,571 votes. Jasmine Crockett, 1,068,387, for a total of 2,280,958 votes in the Democratic, which is incredible. It's a great turnout. Even though
I misheard your. I was thinking just the black voters.
Oh, okay. So when I tried to go to Chat GPT and I said, because I couldn't find it on the internet, I said, how many registered African American voters are there in Harris County? Then it says, based on the voter file demographics, the best scenario, because there's no straight answer, the best scenario is between 500 to 650. 500,000 to 650,000 registered Black African American voters in Harris County, because apparently Harris County has roughly 2.6 to 2.7 million registered voters total, and allegedly Black residents make up 20% of Harris County. Allegedly,
most of that is Houston.
Okay, all right, so the Republican runoff, they only produced, they didn't produce anything like, they produced the winner Paxson, 885,000, Cornyn, this is at a 99% or 98% turn in, 501,725. They had a total of 1,387,674 total votes.
Right, but what you're doing is you're comparing the runoff to the primary.
Ah, okay. So
now, when they primaried, it was three of them. Don't forget.
Right, Wesley Hunt,
and those two guys.
Right. So what I'm trying to think is, because I don't think Wesley Hunt carried that many votes in that primary. I can try to look it up real quick.
He didn't, but I would wager that the turnout, the amount of votes total for the three of them was more than the runoff. Because the runoff had this year, it was early voting for it, but don't forget, or not forget, but unlike other years, there was no early voting on the weekend.
Okay.
So the last day for early voting was Friday. So you miss Saturday, you miss Sunday, you miss Monday, and then you roll in on Tuesday. Now, another thing that you may not be aware of that happened with the two Black candidates is because when they redrew the district, it went from all Harris County to Harris County and Fort Bend County. Well, around 3:40 in the afternoon, all the machines in Fort Bend County went down. All of them. Software glitch. So, check this out. The only way to extend the voting hours is for the Republican representative and the Democratic representative to both agree to the extension. These are runoff rules. Guess who showed up to the press conference to say, leave the polls open later? Guess which party did that?
Oh, it wasn't the Republican Party.
It was the Republican dude.
Wow. Wait, what?
Guess who didn't show? Not showed up and said no, but didn't show up at all.
Don't say the Democratic.
The Democratic representative.
Look at y'all Democrats.
For, the black on black crime of Menifee versus, because I think I told you this, the only reason why they're going against each other is because they're the districts.
Yeah.
Menifee was District 18, which belonged to Sheila Jackson Lee. So Sheila died, then her replacement mayor Sylvester Turner died. So now you have Christian Menifee.
So check this out.
Green was in District number 9, which when it got redrawn, he was pushed out and was forced to go against the Young Thunder that he was told he needed to pass the torch to.
So I want to go back to this because I'm asking ChatGPT, and it still says the Republican primary turnout was 2.2, the Democratic primary turnout was 2.3. What I'm simply trying to say is with the low voter turnout by African Americans, if they turn out in November, especially out of Harris County, James Tallarico will be a Democratic senator.
Right. Do you have any confidence that they will?
Wait a minute, hold on. So I'm going back to reinforce your point about the black athlete, because you said the NAACP should focus on getting black voter turnout, and I have written down registration. Correct.
That's where they should put their energy. Registration and turnout.
So what I wrote down here is very interesting. I said that financial equals voting in regards to power. So you got to have voter registration and voter turnout for African Americans. That's through the voting of the ballot. And then the only thing that can kind of equal that is a boycott financially. So these two can kind of run together. So the same thing when Dr. King and them down in Alabama said, we're going to boycott. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to go back to the Selma boycott, which when they did that massive boycott.
The bus one?
Yeah.
Montgomery.
So when they did that massive boycott, that was a sacrifice by the entire black community down there. And the white people said, well, you guys can't hold out for that long. And they said, we'll walk to work, we'll do whatever. That was a massive situation.
Yep.
But that took a sacrifice from the entire black community, not just by, certain types of black folks. Because segregation in the South was aimed at all black people, not just a certain type of black person. Mm-hmm. So we look at this situation with the boycott. The same thing when they did the boycott of Target. I thought that was probably a pretty good idea. My thing is, this is even stronger than the boycott of Target, because you're talking about taking athletes, not just from the schools, but affecting those contracts, those TV contracts. So when you put the best athletes in the SEC, I mean, some of them go to the Pac, that Big Ten or whatever, mm-hmm. But a large percent of high quality African American athletes are in the South and they go to the Southern schools. So when black folks say, hey, you are minimizing our representation here in the South in these Southern states, but yet we continue to send our children to your schools that bring in this humongous amount of revenue, particularly football. Football's a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's over 100 million.
Yeah. So
not at every school, but at the big schools, yes.
No, listen to this. This is where it gets me, and I'm not going to get worked up tonight. Because
hold on. Give me a second, because I wanted Lynn to finish up, because we got to push that down to Wig and Brooks as well. That same question, because I see where you're going, Rich. I see exactly where you're going with this, but I wanted Lynn to be able to finish up on this point.
Sorry. Yeah. So what I've done is I've asked myself, if my son had elite D1 talent and wanted to go to LSU, and you got Southern and Grambling and other HBCUs in the vicinity, I'm going to want him to go where he's going to get the most shine, the most exposure, and the most income for his talent. Because if he's got elite D1 talent, that's where I'm going to push my son to go. And if that's where I'm going to push my son to go, how dare I ask someone else's son to do something different? That's the approach that I take with this. And I've spent the last few weeks talking about energy, because energy is a big deal that people overlook all the time. And the NAACP, who's been quiet for a while, they've been quiet. I haven't heard much from them, but here they are. And also understand that these young athletes have family and they got agents. They got agents out there, looking for the best deal for them for this 1 to 4 to 5 year window that they have to make this money in the event that they don't graduate to the next level, which is the pro level. So, I feel like the NAACP, first of all, I don't think it would work anyway. I just don't. And Richard, to your point about the TV money, that money, they ain't not doing year-to-year deals. They doing decades-long deals.
That's true.
So the whole time I'm in school, the TV deal ain't going to change because I went to Grambling instead of LSU. That's not going to happen. And that's the way each individual athlete should be evaluating this. And look, I'll be down for the cause after I get what I've worked so hard for the majority of my lifetime on earth.
And so this is principally where I strongly disagree.
Well, hold on. We'll jump into the disagreements in a second, because we'll jump into the disagreements in a second.
Go to Brooks, Glad.
All right, Brooks, what is your take? Should our student athletes be involved with the voting rights fight?
I would say I would let them choose, but this is exactly the reason why everybody should have a voter ID law right there. Then you can choose. And if you're an athlete in the South, why would you give a care like what laws were there? You're going to play ball, period. And they're not going to be like, no, I'm going to choose Grambling over LSU. Or no, I'm going to choose Grambling over or Alabama. Or no, I'm going to choose Lane over freaking Georgia. Not a chance. It's ridiculous. You know, the ideology that like, wait, you have a better chance to get into NFL if you choose Lane over Georgia because of some voting. Not a chance. It's unrealistic. No, they're not going to do it. I'm a Buckeye. Oh, the Ohio State University. It's not in the South, but sure as hell, I'm not going to go choose. You know, I'm trying to think of another school over Ohio State.
They might choose Ohio State instead of LSU because of this situation.
They might.
The Big Ten can benefit. And if I'm recruiting at the Big Ten, guess what I'm going to bring up?
Yeah.
You want that pressure, young man? Do you really want that pressure?
No,
I'm in the living room with a young man. I'm in the living room with his mama. No.
Buddy, I'm a Buckeye because I'm from Ohio, right? You know, like I want to stay close to home because you know who? Mom is why I chose Ohio State.
Okay.
And you know, whether dad has great influence or not, mom has the influence, and that's fact.
Sure.
You know, and if they're from the South, and 9 times out of 10, unless you're an amazing recruiter, you're going to stay kind of close to home. I know so many athletes and friends who could go anywhere they want or could have gone anywhere they want, but they chose to stay close to home because of mom. And it doesn't give a crap about voting this way or voting the other way. And think about it. You're never going to hurt the South in money. The ideology of that is utterly insane. Why? Boosters. The boosters at Georgia. The boosters at LSU, the boosters at Ole Miss, the boosters at like anywhere. Like look at the schools: Ohio State, Michigan. The boosters anywhere. Those big time programs. They got 20 millions of dollars. They don't like these kids know that. You're never. It's a machine. So what?
It's a machine that's driven. The cogs are driven, the belts are pulled, the pulleys are moving because of black bodies. So it's absolutely a machine. And if you don't have those black bodies primarily, you don't have the money to drive that train.
No. These boosters are old money. My bro, like these are old money. These are freaking 60, 70, 80, 90-year-olds who were like, hey, here you go, Buckeye. Here's $7 million. Make sure you have a decent program this year. hey, here's $10 million, Georgia. Here, make sure you have a great program this year. And they don't give a crap.
So
White,
even
black, all they care about is winning a national title.
yeah, but if you don't have the star athletes available,
but Jay
have
Glass,
those good seasons.
you only have we make this mistake, and I'm not just pointing at you, but generally, most black athletes in college football will not smell the NFL.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when you do the math, on the ones that will
gives them the opportunity to get close,
it won't. It won't. I believe, and this is from years and years of work at the pro level and the college level. It won't move the needle. Like I made the example with Ohio State versus Michigan. If you took all the black players off of both teams, they still gonna pack that stadium.
Doesn't matter.
They still gonna pack that stadium.
Yep.
There's still gonna be 110,000 screaming white folks in there because at Ohio State they're screaming for the name on the front, not the name on the back.
Okay.
And the only thing they care about is
it's a machine. Look at how many. Good example is look at how many Ohio State wide receivers, throughout the past 10 years, flooding the NFL. They're all pro. They're all first team All-American. Look at Jackson Smith and Juba, Marvin Harrison. It's a machine. It's not a system of white or black or I was oppressed or poor. Half of those guys come from the South. Right.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you, the panel, and I'll ask this because we do look at things when it comes to sports, and this is where I begin to pivot towards the cons, in an aspect of showing up for a couple of years so that you can get noticed and picked up by the bigger leagues, with the promise of more money. But are we looking at short-term gain or microwave satisfaction and forgetting about the actual community at large in the end?
Yes.
And so that one of the things that we are okay with, because these are going to be voting. These are voting adults essentially as well. They're student athletes, but they're still.
About your Ohio, for example, when you get a big contract. Again, I'm a Buckeye, so I'm biased, right? And you get a big contract, let's say at Florida. Who gives a crap? You know what? I can get a chance to go to NFL as a wide receiver. Great. And then then I can take care of Ohio when I'm older. Right? It doesn't grip. Nobody gives a crap about voting in any way when you're that young. When you have
I don't know. I don't know if I can say nobody cares about voting.
I would say the great majority, especially if you have that kind of talent, don't give a crap about voting for one way or the other. When you have an opportunity to go to a big time school, and then with that big time school, it gives you notoriety to get landed by one of the 16, 17 teams in the NFL.
33,
no way. I don't give a crap.
Hey, you know what? Let me tell you something. And I promised myself, I said, I'm not getting worked up tonight because people show their true colors over a period of time. So here's my thing. When I talk to white people, I hope some white people are listening tonight, and I bet they're laughing their tail off, but they can't laugh at me. I'm gonna tell you why. When white people tell me, Richard, the reason why your people came over here is because black folks in Africa, Africans sold other Africans into slavery. And I said some of that happened, but some of it was just Europeans came down and the trade got so tremendous that they started taking. They said, yeah, but initially, when we came to your country or to your continent of Africa, to those different African countries, there were Africans who were willing to sell other Africans to make money. I said, okay. Then, hold on. Then when I come into today's society, rappers are creating derogatory music to chase money. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care about calling each other the N-word or demonizing black women because they come from black women. But in order to chase money, to feed their family, then they will call each other the N-word. No other group of people do that other than the black community. We call each other the N-word. We demonize our own women. the mothers who gave birth to us, we demonize them. Now, let's go to the third thing. When drug dealers telling me, hey, man, I'm just trying to make mine. I'm trying to take care of me and mine. So regardless of the consequences, regardless of the destruction of the African-American community, you're going to sell drugs. And then finally, we come to this. When black folks tell me I don't have to be a black Democrat, I can be a black Republican, I can be anybody I want to be, and I can vote for anybody I want to vote for. And I don't care about the black folks criticize me because we don't have no black community anyway. When I hear everyone talk tonight, you're verifying all these things that I've witnessed or I've heard from. And so at the end of the day, if it comes down in this capitalist country of money and you have to monetize, hold on, I see you shaking your head. You have to monetize your athletic ability. So when you have all these other black folks saying that you would even have this chance to go to these white schools, if it wasn't for black folks in the past going above and beyond to put you in that position, you're disrespecting your past. But you don't care about your past because your mother probably had you too young to begin with. And if I'm betting that you're growing up listening to rap music, then you're chasing short-term glory if you get there or not. But since you don't have no confidence in yourself anyway, the only thing that you can focus on, not on your intellect, not on your behavior, chasing through athleticism, when the white man's going to come down and only pick the very, very, very best from these schools, then put you in the league. And then when he puts you in the league, he's going to cap your money in the NBA or the NFL. And this NIL money that you're chasing, he's going to cap that money sooner or later as well. So when I hear all this stuff talk, all these people talking, then I have to agree with my white friends. You black folks, you'll never get your act together. We don't have to ever worry about really changing, because you guys will never work together. So don't look at the Mexicans and see and figure out how they're able to come over here illegally or legally and work together and accomplish things. Don't look at the Vietnamese, but they come over here legally or illegally and work together and get businesses and create districts. Don't look at the Jews. Don't look at the Ashkenazi Jews and get mad at them. Because what you're showing me is you say voting is important. They're taking away your representation of your voting, which is probably true in these southern states, but you don't have enough togetherness, enough integrity to say, well, since you want to play this way, we're not going to send you our very best for this for these athletic programs. And then someone says, well, it doesn't matter if you send your athletes or not, we're going to still fill those stadiums. Well, then you go right ahead. But sometimes your integrity about when you say you are proud to be black, and that's why I say I don't support the culture, I support the community. But what I realize is even when I support the community, there's very few black folks. And as we say in church, in the black church, the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. I'm done.
Are few.
I'm
Let the church say,
Snap. I think, like, in reply to that, you got to understand, like, all these athletes know, or all these, especially the young kids, grow up. I grew up in a football culture in Ohio. This is what you do. You go to Ohio State and you play football if you can. You know, like, that's pure. You grow up in LSU or New Orleans, you play football. If you grow up in Texas, you play football. You grow up in Georgia, you play football. You grow up in Alabama, you play football. Period. That's what we do.
You know
this
what?
Is not California.
Bro.
It was like come in, finish, please, and then I'd love to hear. Yeah, just like this is the culture you grow up. You grow up being born, and they put a Browns hat on you. You grow up being born. You put, like, that's the way it is. They put a Buckeye hat on you. Like, this is from jump. Like, the one thing I was asked not to do growing up as a kid is go to Michigan. Period. That
okay.
Those are the rules.
But
like,
the rules,
those are made up rules, though. That's programming to the next level. And let me just say this.
Yeah, but like that,
respect,
culture, that is fact, that is truth still.
But look, listen, I think the bottom line is, if the NAACP is stepping in to boycott this, they're sending a strong message that, yes, the people that are potentially in a star platform have to say, hey, please don't do this to the culture, the voting rights, are being taken away, representations being taken away. And yes, football, sports, I believe, have no realm in politics because once you do, you get reprimanded. In America, we love to talk about freedoms, but it depends on who's talking about those freedoms. If it's me being a Mexican talking about Mexican rights, nobody cares. Why? Because we've been here for before America began. Like we've been here. But then again, we have this propaganda wheel trampling our culture. You guys love Taco Tuesdays. Sell a taco for $5, but as soon as you want to make a deal with a Mexican, you want to cut the rates to 50%. So there's an underground cultural racism that sucks. And let me just say this about football. Football is the worst sport to put your whole body into it because if we know the NFL, and I'm going to say this respectfully, they don't back up their players. They chew them out and they treat the players like garbage. They average 3 years max, and it's a fallacy. If you really want to talk about the sport of America, we want to talk about baseball. Baseball is where the money's at, and it's a harder sport to get into. But the college people that go into these big schools, and let me finish this strongly, they are not going to want to talk about politics because it's already hard enough to get into those colleges. The competitiveness to get into those colleges, and you even said it yourself, it's a program that you get into and you have to live and die for that program. If the university doesn't want you to stand up for certain things, you're not going to go against that. So it has to be the whole people that stand behind the sport. And the large basis of the sport is African Americans. You see on TV when they say where they come from, and they're very proud to say their school system. But that school system is based on politics of voting, where the money goes to. So where it gets spent. When was the last time you saw an athlete talk about a political thing? Did they win in that political
They're not
subject?
going to do it.
No.
In 2020,
they're not going to do it. Nobody.
There was in 2020. There was a young. Hold on. I've been listening. Hold on. I've been listening. Hold on. In 2020, there was a young player in Mississippi that refused. He refused to get on the field and play under the fucking Confederate flag. And he won that. Mississippi had to take the Confederate flag off of their state flag because of that one young black player. It is possible.
Jay Glass, what's his name?
Absolutely possible.
What's his name?
Let me look it back up.
See, the fact you're going to look up his name is my point.
I just seen that
article.
The reason why I'm looking up the name, Lee, hold on. You ain't gonna monopolize the conversation. The reason why I gotta look up the name is because I switched focus and I started looking at the different ins and outs of the actual NAACP's asker, their driver. And I started looking up different other things like, is it worth the community asking our student athletes to make this sacrifice? Is it not? Have we done this in the past? What have the outcomes been? But in its totality, looking at it and understanding this in a shape and fashion of a war, which has been, do y'all like, this is the shit that's real. They've been planning this moment since 1861. Since Alexander Stevenson wrote the cornerstone speech and wanted to hurl our asses and keep us in a form of slavery and servitude to never be able to own our own destinies, if we do not figure out how to own our own financial freedom and take control of our financial issues, they will always be able to say what we can and cannot do. This would be a very small sacrifice. If we're not there, the money isn't either. We've had the children marching armies. We've had younger students that have been on the front line of getting different rights for older adults. I don't think it's too much to ask for the community at large to take a step back, even if you just participate for a few months and say, hey, if the South is going to rise again, by all means, let them, but they're going to do it without us. When we do not cohesively move together, be it agreeing or disagreeing, be it some people getting their money, I got to get mine, so get yours, they can always control the shape, the scope, the variables of the battlefield. They'll always be able to control the outcome of the narrative. If our hopes are always built and based on, I got to make my money first.
Wait a minute, hold on. I put the name of the person in the private chat. His name's Kylan Hill. I'm gonna take that point. I'm gonna take that point and go a step further. When I hear a person of color, African American, tell me they got to get theirs first and take care of their family, then that tells me that even if you are chosen to make it to the NFL, you'll never come back and live in the Black community and spread that money. And then most likelihood than not, when you play in the NFL, the NBA, after making all those millions, after you pay taxes, you still won't have nothing to show in 10 to 15 years. So when white people ask me, Richard, with all these Black athletes making all this money, why isn't the Black community improving? Because they had to get theirs, and they come from a short-term mindset, and they don't come from a mindset that Mexicans have, the Vietnamese, other Asian groups have, definitely not the Jewish community. Because that was stripped of us when we came over here. And that's why that particular slavery was so horrendous, and why the United Nations took that vote at the request of, I think, the president of Ghana, that was the most unique, horrific type of slavery in world history. But of course, America, Israel, and Argentina said, no, we don't agree with that. But now let's get back to this thing about this money, though. There was a Black man who bought that time slot, Byron Allen, after the
man, bump Byron Allen, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I couldn't hold that one in. My apologies.
I'm with him. Bump Byron Allen.
Okay, so hold on. Wait a minute. I agree with you. So what I was getting ready to say is when he was on the Breakfast Club and they were asking them questions, it's all about the green. And I thought, you're an idiot. It's not all about the green, because if that was the case, they would have left the Black folks alone in Tulsa off of Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. Okay? If that was the case, they left the Black folks alone in Harlem when they had the Harlem Renaissance going on. So anytime Black folks in this country from the past work together and establish a strong Black community, either they were raped, destroyed by the Klan, the government came and tried to destroy them. Look, when we had Black folks who were not chasing money, the last group of Black folks who were really like that were called the Black Panthers, and you saw how they got taken apart. Okay? They got taken apart because they had a stance. They were principled. Well, how you look at my Black ass? Why aren't you back up there over in the Union? Because I had a principled stance, had nothing to do with Black folks. I was fighting for white people. They ran me out because I was principled. So in this country, you cannot be principled. And if you are, you'll be removed. You can ask the Kennedy boys. You can ask Malcolm X. You can ask James Medgars. You can ask Dr. King. These people were removed because they were principled. They were challenging the status quo. So when an NAACP says, look, we're going to challenge this financial power over the Black athlete, and then the Black athlete says, well, look, I got to get mine. I don't have so many years of athletic ability, and I've worked my whole life because I wasn't taught about going to school to be smart like Mr. Lynn Medeiros. I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught to go in the military like Mr. Glass or Deuce. I wasn't taught that. I'm not Mexican. I don't have family from both sides of the border. I can't say I was here originally unless you're some Black people who say that we were here before the Mexicans were here, before the Native Americans were here, because you have some Black folks saying that. So when you're a Black athlete, and you don't hear any of this because your mother had you too young, and you grew up listening to rap music that promotes a short-term mindset, and every fourth word out of your mouth possibly is the N-word at another Black or maybe a white person or a Mexican or an Asian. You may be singing a rap song with them. Probably.
I think the really greatest example of this generation has seen is Colin Kaepernick. Somebody mentioned it earlier. He stood up for what he thought, and how did that help him? He's gone to the NFL for what now? 12 years, never to be seen again. No team will take a chance on him.
Wait, I got a question.
No
I got a question, bro. Hold on.
He's out.
hold up. So how should we protest?
You can't.
You shouldn't.
What?
We shouldn't.
What?
We shouldn't protest.
You shouldn't. It's
You,
just
Who should protest?
you can't protest if you really want to
you
play
can
against.
have your views and you can tell your views with your friends, but you're not
No,
going to
Wait,
take
are you? Wait, hold on,
knee
Brooks,
on the,
Brooks,
on the
Brooks, Brooks,
field.
Brooks, come
Are
on,
you,
bro. Well,
Brooks?
I try to be. I try to be courteous.
joining
I try to
us?
be courteous on here,
Are you
Brooks. Seriously.
playing with us, or is this like your honest to God take for like how people should do it? Like if they don't agree with
Okay, here's
something, you
what I'll
saying we
say.
shouldn't protest?
Like,
You messing
I
up
think
my
you
high.
should stand up for whatever you believe in, for sure. But the last
Fucking up
example
my high.
of
That's what
somebody
you're
of
doing.
note, right, a big time of note, who on the football field protested,
Fucking up
look
my
what
high.
happened to him. And nobody says a thing.
I will
can't-
agree with
Talks
Lee
about
on this point.
Kaepernick anymore unless it's
I
in
will-
passing
I will-
conversation or this kind of conversation.
Look,
I will agree with Lee on this
He's
point.
gone. And
Protesting has
and
lost
as
its power.
a young person, you know who Colin Kaepernick is, and you do not want to face that kind of scrutiny because it's about your money that you can earn
Hold up.
as
Hold
a
up. Hold
youth
up, bro.
going
Hold up.
through college, now for NIL, and now going through the pros if you get lucky to be chosen on a team.
So we should just accept. We should just accept what they're giving
You
us, right?
turn
Yeah.
San Francisco.
No. I'm asking. Should we just accept what they give us?
I disagree with that.
If you got-
blunt
if you-
ideology.
Wait. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
disagree with that blunt statement.
You
How-
gotta,
but I'm
you
just
gotta
how-
let
giving you
him
the
answer
example.
the question. You gotta
How
let
she
him
want me
Makes
to
answer
a
the
say
whole
question.
generation hesitant to do anything
No.
because of that example that happened.
Come on, man. I know you ain't
I
serious,
said,
man. You took them edibles
I
too.
disagree with that
Hey,
blunt.
listen to this. Listen to this. ECAS producer about the Democrats having paid protesters. That's true.
Ah, come on.
And the Republicans have paid protesters too. So, but Liberty Twitcher. So here's the remember I got at Liberty Twitcher a few months ago. I was going at him because he won't tell us who he is, but I think he's a white man. But I could be wrong. So now he's saying celebrate player achievement. Don't expect them to carry your water. So listen to this. This is where this particular white man, he's kind of right. So when we don't stand together on anything, and we said we have to go get ours to take care of our own individual families, that we are not part of a community. If that's the culture that you're preaching, then Liberty Twitcher can come on this black show. This is a black man that runs it, that owns it, and he can come. Yes, you hated me and hate me. That no, I don't hate you. But I simply said, because I know how to call people out. What I simply said, Liberty Twitcher, is when you say things, I want to know what your name is because I'm not in no fake name. So you could be anybody, Liberty Twitcher. Yeah, you could be part of the Aryan Nation. But all I want you to do is say your name, come on here, and then let's talk about. Okay, maybe you're black. Maybe you're a black Aryan.
No, hey, yo, it's a lesbian, dog. Fuck that shit.
Okay, well, we don't want to be sexist or gay phobia against gay people. All I'm simply saying is, when you come on and say things, show us your sincerity by coming on, giving us your real name, and then some of your thoughts and opinions. I'm probably the one person that's going to probably agree on some of the things that you say, but I'm also going to ask you about your sincerity. Because when me and Lynn Medeiros argue, that means being sincere.
Yes.
Sincere.
You're referring to me. I apologize for dropping. All I was saying is like the example of the youth is looking at Colin Kaepernick and they're like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. So I don't know if they were referring to me or whatever.
He was referring to somebody else.
No, Lee Brooks.
Hey,
And
gentlemen, I have to step away.
Okay.
I won't stop the stream. By all means, continue. I just got to run out for probably 5-10 minutes, and then I'll be right back on. So y'all push on without me. I don't want to cut it.
All right.
Wait, so let me ask a question, Brooks.
Yeah.
So was Jason Dart wrong for what he did?
Oh.
Wait. All I heard is was Jason Dart wrong for what he did? Can
Yes.
you enlighten me what he did? I maybe I missed it.
Where he went and introduced Trump at a rally?
Ah.
Was
That
he
don't
wrong?
matter. That don't matter.
You were interrupted.
I said when he went and introduced Trump at a rally.
I didn't know what he still don't know what he did.
That don't matter.
No, he's not wrong for what he did.
But Colin Kaepernick is.
Like you could like as a young person.
No. But is Colin Kaepernick wrong?
That's apples and oranges.
Yeah. It's because Colin Kaepernick.
He stood in your choice.
Colin Kaepernick was an average player. He was an average player, and that's the bottom.
So what is Dart? Hold on, I'm sorry, my man. What is Dart?
He's a little bit above that.
No, Dart been to a Super Bowl.
What?
I don't know.
Did Dart go to the Super Bowl?
Let's be clear in their career.
As a player,
right.
Dart
player. He's 100% right. Colin Kaepernick was a Super Bowl play, and Jackson Dart is nowhere near the Super Bowl anywhere. Yeah.
Apples look 6 and 7.
6
and 7. It's right there. Either way, the guy played himself.
Both made choices.
Yeah, you talk about the politics, you get shafted.
Zoe, once you color yourself as someone who doesn't,
no, you're gonna have a standard. Keep that standard, brother.
Look, it's the bottom line.
You're gonna have a standard. Keep that standard.
If I'm gonna be playing a sport, look at what Jordan did. Michael Jordan.
Right. But we're talking about football. We're talking about football now.
Either way, in the sport of football, who dominates the sport? Who's paying the checks?
So they were both quarterbacks, though.
But who's paying the checks? Who signs the checks?
The owners.
We're not talking about the check. We're not talking about the check. We're talking about two people that made a political statement. But you're saying one is right and one is wrong.
They're both legitimately neither or. It didn't pay into the effect of changing the paradigm, right? Did they change anything?
Let me ask you a question. Who was trying to change the paradigm?
Well, who are you talking about? Kaepernick?
Who was trying to change the paradigm?
Okay, you're saying these guys are speaking up, right? And they're speaking up about something.
Why did Colin Kaepernick do what he did?
Take the knee down?
Protest police brutality against.
Okay, and why did Dart do what he did?
What did he do?
This is my point. He plays in a let's say he's in a business that's basically what 70% African American, and you know how African Americans feel about Trump, but then you go and do that, and then people are not supposed to say anything.
So Jackson Dart went to an event that Trump was going to, and he introduced Trump at a rally, which means that he's basically endorsing Trump. So what Mr. Wig is
exactly
saying, when 70% of the league and most likely 70% of your team are black folks, who we're gonna say that 80% of these black folks on your team don't care for Trump. We're gonna guess, and 20% are Republican, the 80% are Democrat. What Mr. Wig is saying to everyone on the panel, where did Brooks go?
He logged off.
He logged, yeah.
He had to go.
He's in and out. He jump in, jump out.
When he gets hot, he gotta get a drink.
Okay. what he's saying is what Jackson Dart did. Is it comparable to the same thing that Colin Kaepernick did when all he did was take a knee at the national anthem at the beginning of games because a veteran, Army veteran, told him, "Don't sit down. If you're going to do this, can you please take a knee?" So he did what the Army veteran asked him to do by taking a knee during the national anthem to protest against police brutality.
This is like comparing Martin Luther King to the KKK.
Okay, but what I'm saying, okay, I hear you and I respect that. Okay, but what I am saying to you is the domino effect swaying? Is it moving anywhere? Do we have movement? We understand the police brutality is terrible, but has it shifted anything in the conversation? The conversation right now, I believe, even I live in the city of Chicago or near around, they don't really talk about those things because we live in a democratic system. The Democrats run the show. So I am saying to you, if you want to speak against the right, the conservative, the Democratic machine isn't doing good in their sector to say contrary.
I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? O sea, like me as Mexican, we get shafted either way by all politics. Even we voted the president right now into power. There's so much numbers that people voted for Trump because we got into this whole Trumpness situation. And now that everybody's paying like everything's super expensive, we forgot that the homie was talking for the super ultra rich. Greed has taken a toll on everybody. So right now, let's bring it back. I do believe the NCAAP is doing the right thing to bring consciousness into like this system, because we are getting shafted. Everybody is getting shafted somehow. The minorities, if you have a special skill, but you're still a minority, try not to speak against the paradigm or the people that's in power. Because guess what? The people in power are always going to be the old system. Now bringing it back to why this whole system of voting is bringing into place what James said right now, the cornerstone speech. We're not supposed to have any kind of power under the system that we live in. If we did, then we would have total freedoms, which we do not. That's why we have lawyers on top of lawyers on top of lawyers. And the sports system is a special program. Either you're in it to win it for somebody, because you're not there because you're pretty or you're awesome. You're there because someone said, hey, this guy's awesome. There's a huge marketing tool system that goes into, if I sign to Nike and I'm playing for the Chicago Bears, shout out to the Chicago Bears, I'm going to do whatever is best for my team, for my boss, right? At the end of the day, who's paying my checks, guys? The NCAAP is trying to get a whole cultural sporting system to be like, yes, let's be like Martin Luther King, or let's be like Muhammad Ali. But what happened to Muhammad Ali? He paid the price. You have to pay the price either way. If you want to be all out integrity, you're going to pay the price.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. So now here's where sometimes us black folks and Mexicans, we kind of cross paths.
Yes.
When you tell black folks about pay the price, and we look about how our ancestors came over here on that ship, that was the price. Okay. And then we still live to tell about it to this day. That was a price. And then all the lynchings, not even the lynchings from 1877 to 1950, that was a price. So
yes, but we're still gonna pay that price. The new generation is still paying that price.
But wait a minute, hold on.
Don't you think?
But hold on. Just like if I say certain words, I'm gonna make a Mexican jump. If I talk about illegal immigration, they coming. They willing to pay the price. Hold on, they willing to pay the price. And I said that's fine. But remember now, every time you and I get in the boxing ring and we sell out, in that boxing ring, because everybody knows you get a black and a Mexican in the boxing ring, you get ready to see something.
Yes.
So, but we as black people, when you say price, we've been paying the price from the time we left Africa to the time we come over here all the way up to now.
I agree.
When we asking these athletes to do this,
Who got a baby in the background?
Me.
Okay.
So when you asking these athletes, yes,
no, it ain't me.
You know, these young black athletes, these young black athletes. Listen, check this out. Because I always say when people talk and they go along with me, I'll catch you. Because I stay principled. I don't budge off of principle. These young black athletes, you have to pay a price for number one being black in this country. Because I don't care how much money you have. Ask Tyreek Hill when he was down in Miami showing out that fancy car. They yanked his black ass right off that car. They didn't care how much money he had. They don't care about how much he worked to get to the NFL. He was just another black man driving too fast, and they yanked his ass out that car. So these young black athletes, when you talk about, well, I got to get mine, you still a black man in this country. You'll get pulled over justice.
Rich.
And you know when you got a better chance? When you got money for a lawyer.
Correct.
But Rich,
that's
hey,
correct.
But Rich, I'm OJ. I ain't black. I'm OJ.
And I said that tonight I would not get worked up, because at the end of the day, people, regardless of their race, they're going to chase money in this capitalist society. When people come across the border illegally and hurt people who have jobs in this country, they're chasing money to take care of their family back in Mexico or back in China or any other country they come over here.
But okay, I understand.
But hold on, wait, time out.
Let
Let me
Hold on.
finish. Let me
Because
finish.
the illegal immigration is a deadbeat
So,
horse.
so
Hold on a
don't
second.
interrupt them. Let them cook, and then you cook.
Wait a minute.
Okay, all right.
And I sat here a few minutes ago and said, "Oh, I know how to say certain things to make you jump."
Okay.
When it comes to money, but
All
wait
right.
a minute. What
All
I'm
right.
showing you is when these young black athletes are upsetting me, even though I already know where they're coming from, they'll never really amount to anything long term because their environment doesn't produce long term success. Now, that takes something out of me to say that against my own black boys and girls. That hurts me that I have to say that. Because when the white man says it, he says it because of his racist tendencies, because he's deeply prejudiced and bigoted against black folks. But
I
when
agree.
I say it because I'm hurt. But when I have to take that comparison to those who come across the country, maybe from Mexico or Guatemala, because they're chasing money to take care of their families, and they don't care how they do it. If they have to come over here illegally, then that's the listen to me. That's the price they have to pay. Even those from China and those in the Far East, when they come over here illegally, and it's always kept secret. See, I'm hip to that too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Wait.
Here's my rebuttal.
Wait.
And thank you, Richard, for keeping it real, keeping it 100. I do believe. Look, we have an advantage now more than ever than our past generations to push through that ceiling, that invisible ceiling that we all have come to grown. These traumas or these things that have happened, and they're probably still gonna happen. But here's like for me, for instance, once I knew and I figured out that I got what it takes to do something that separates me from the crowd, that or lets me know that America has done something special. And I think a lot of these young folks have done something very special, and it takes a lot of good decision making to get to that platform. I do believe they have to speak with an eloquence, a grace. For instance, somebody that spoke with a great, tremendous eloquence was Jim Brown. Now, we're talking about a social leader. Watch how Jim Brown spoke or how he used to speak. He spoke with a tremendous vigor to, yes, speak truth against power without him losing any of his trajectory. Who else would be somebody there?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Roberto Clemente, right?
Okay. Yeah.
These now talk about things that were difficult. He was a Hispanic, Boricua, Black, Hispanic. He filled all the gaps, but he still managed to reach back, right? And I think if you really want to make a movement strong, take Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose in Chicago, he's bigger than Jordan. A lot of people don't understand that. Why? Because the block, the hoods got his back, and he reached back in silence. And sometimes that's the best way to do things, with the hidden hand, because the haters are going to hate. And when you're in a special platform, you're going to have more hate, which is what probably makes you famous. Hence why we look up to Jordan so much, because Jordan did something, for instance, I believe he did something so great, and we took it for granted, and we still haven't seen something like that. Look at what he did with NASCAR. How did he hurt NASCAR? He beat them at their own game. He took them to court. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he basically did something that no athlete has ever done.
So wait, hey, so check this out. And I want to tell Emmanuel Manny Castro Lugo, I agree with what he's saying, but don't get too fast, Mr. Lugo, because this country was built off of protest. See, it's always fascinating to me when black folks protest, we get criticized. But the last time I checked, when the British or the English came from Great Britain over here, they were protesting King George III. They said we ain't paying no money, paying no taxes unless we get representation. And then they flipped it and said, you know what? Even with representation, we ain't paying you anything. We're gonna take this on our own. And that was their protest, and that protest became the Revolutionary War. So this whole country is based off of protest and racism and sexism and broken treaties against Native Americans and in the American-Mexican War and everything else. Okay, so when black folks in NAACP say, look, let's do a boycott, they didn't say let's get out here and start wilding out and creating violence. They didn't say nothing like that. This is a peaceful protest just by asking young black athletes to make a sacrifice. Now, if someone says, Richard, those older black people, have they made the ultimate sacrifice to ask these younger black people? And the ones who are 70 and below, and I'm in that group, maybe not.
But
the ones who are 80 or above, who are still living, now that's a little different with that age group because they have made a sacrifice.
may I ask you a question, Richard? And I think each generation repeats itself to push back or even protect the ground that the past generation moved the needle. I do believe that every generation kind of repeats the same struggle as our past generations if we don't resolve the things that have been nagging us, right? The constant nag of, yes, we're equal under the umbrella of God, but even that has been shaded gray, right? There's so many different battles in our society now more than ever, and we have to be very delicate for the people that are basically gonna produce fruit for their families, because let's be honest, once these young the youth step into this platform, it's a golden ticket for their families.
But Zoe, every time we talk about the young people, what's the first thing that comes out of my mouth other than derogatory rap music? I beg them to register and vote, and I beg them to keep Social Security going. I beg them. So yes. I need the young people.
And they don't.
Okay, fair enough. So I beg them to register to vote.
And they don't.
Okay, so I continue to go ahead, Mr. Wick. Go ahead.
Hey, I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on, man. But this conversation is killing me. First thing with the NCAA, I don't mind them asking the college athletes to do what they're doing, but why you ending it at the college athletes? Why not? Why haven't you going at the people that already have money?
Okay. Yes,
the people that's making movies, the CEOs, and all that stuff. There, everybody should have skin in the game, not just the youngest people amongst us.
You're right, Mr. Wig. You're absolutely right.
So don't end it there. Don't the NCAA you want to put in writing by the college athletes, because the ones that to me at HBCUs, in my last duty station I was in Tallahassee, Florida. They had some scouts come to Florida State. FAMU is right down the street, and they wouldn't go see them down there.
Hold on, Mr. Wig, you have called my car tonight. You are absolutely right. The entire black community, the black actors and actresses. You know what? Because I've been very calm. I've been very professional.
But then also, what we were saying about them cherry picking from certain places because this person has talent. Don't they do that with magnet schools? Don't they go to the poor schools and pick out the kids with the best grades and send them to magnet schools?
I was a magnet kid. I know.
So it's the same thing. It's just getting the fruit a little younger.
You know what, Mr. Wig? I don't like to lose arguments, but I've lost because the entire black community, in my opinion, whether you're black Democrat or black Republican, all black folks should be supporting this. Now, if we ask all black people to vote, regardless of their political preference, and I don't demonize people when they vote non-Democrat, because I vote non-Democrat on a lot of different parts of the ballot. We want all black people to vote because we want all Americans to vote because we know the price that not just African Americans had to pay to vote, but women as well. When you say we need the whole black community, those actors and actresses in Hollywood, because they were supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, that political movement. They were talking a whole lot of stuff. But talking about illegal. Listen to this. They were fighting for the illegal immigration, for the illegal immigrants to be treated fairly when they're stopped. So a lot of black folks was putting their necks out there. But now when it comes to really come down to the showtime of the black athlete, see, you say black athlete, that sounds like black entertainer, if you ask me. So you're
true. That's true. It just really get me that you have these people that already made their money. I got my money. I'm gonna move on. And, it is what it is. But this whole thing to me is we all know is racism, and this is what I think about what's going on today with racism. Racism is only around because white people want it to be around.
Damn.
That's why I feel it's around, because at the end of the day, whenever a black person trying to talk about their pain, it's debated. But whenever a white person feel uncomfortable, it's an emergency.
Mr. Wig, so it appears to me that you must have hit the right ganja tonight. Because you on fire. Listen to this. I want to go to what Emmanuel Manny Castro Lugo said about
Damn, Manny.
Do it with your work as you should. They didn't need to give a shit. Now listen, just because all the people on this show are successful doesn't mean that the communities that we come from, that those same people from our same communities have that same chance to be successful. So in other words, just because one black person makes it out of the ghetto, and I think of LeBron James coming from the projects, I think about him all the time because he saved his money without a father in his life. He saved his money. He has shown financial discipline, but he is an outlier. Same for Jay-Z coming out of the Marcy projects in New York. That man is an outlier. That is not the standard.
What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Zo?
No. We want to talk
President Richard Lewis Brown.
So, but this is the point, though. That you're making my point. Why are we always judged against the
exceptions to the rule?
The exception versus the rule.
Oh man, I feel like I'm looking at the rules. What are we always focused on?
The exception.
The exception.
So when you say LeBron,
get those black folks in those southern states registered and voting.
Because when we say LeBron,
you got to worry about the exceptional black athlete and take money out of his pocket.
Hey, I would not tolerate any hate against the talented and Dr. Du Bois. Nah, I'm with y'all. Y'all right.
Yeah, but
why can't we do both? So
you can do both.
Mr. Wick says the whole black community should be supporting this, not just putting the pressure on these young black athletes. Listen to this. These older black athletes who've made all this money, you know what they said years ago? If we would have went to them and said, hey, we need you to sacrifice, they would have said, no, we got to get ours first. And then once they got theirs, now look at them now. You don't see them.
So we can start if we're going by the exception, right? If we're gonna be judged by the exception, and the exception is the standard, then why don't we start with Oprah Winfrey and Michael Jordan? Why you don't hear them speaking out?
Because
they're the big dogs
from Ohio. Throughout his whole career, is always like, "Hey, register and vote." Throughout his whole career, I'm from Ohio. I've watched him like grow up in Akron. I'm from Cleveland, but he's from Akron. Like Oprah, throughout her whole career, was like, "Vote." Like everybody, like these three individuals, exceptional individuals, are always like, "Vote." And that still the youth does not. That's not on them. That's on individuals.
Brooks. I think your name Brooks. Brooks. Here's the deal with that. This is what I think. Democrats have to be just as ruthless as Republicans, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Last night, the Republicans voted in a guy that was impeached by their own party.
Yeah, Paxton.
Yeah.
This guy, he's the poster child for the worst politician in the world. But they didn't care because they didn't care. They cut their nose off to spite the face.
Well, Mr. Wig, if you remember back when Mr. Combs was going to trial and black like throw him underneath the bridge, and I said, well, wait a minute now. Let's hear the evidence. Let's weigh the evidence. And after I heard and weighed the evidence, I said he's innocent.
No,
black folks jumped on me and
told
me
what?
of the
Did
charges.
you see the video?
Because I think old boy behind bars, right?
Okay.
I think you're behind bars, right?
Oh, Mr. Wig. What I'm
And they called him innocent. Yeah.
Without even paying attention to
Here she comes. See, look. Now I gotta move over.
I called the boss in. Called the boss in because
you was loud with the BS.
This is what happens, Mr. Wig, when you make the point that Mr. Paxton was impeached in the Texas
by his own Republicans,
but he was exonerated.
Can I make a note?
Oh, it was Trump. That don't make it right.
Hold on. 16 charges. no convictions.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I sat here on my computer with all 16 charges, like a bingo card.
Mm.
And to get him out of there, he only needed one conviction. He went 16 for 16 acquitted.
Bingo. Yeah.
But that's my point as far as
Thank you.
us. We're willing to we want to keep playing by the rules. That's why when I started out this conversation, when I said I was praying for the hospital.
Yeah, but MAGA put him in there last night. That was MAGA.
Hold
No,
on.
it was, but
if Trump had went with the other guy would have won.
Yeah.
he probably would have, but that just Cornyn voted with this guy 99% of the time, and he still crapped on him.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know why? Because when Trump was feeling the heat, Cornyn was silent.
That's right.
See, when you make the deal with this dude, this orange fellow, you got to be with him through thick and thin,
And
and especially when it gets thin.
So you know what?
That's all he's
Damn.
doing.
You know what, Lynn? Hey, Lynn.
But that dedication only go one way though.
But
No,
wait a minute.
you gonna sit in the corner
Lynn.
with your
But
dragging
Lynn.
the girl and beating in the hallway
Hey,
innocent.
but Lynn, listen to this. If you were tried for something,
Right.
now I'm a registered voter in your county, and they call and they say, "Well, when would you come down here?" And then you got selected, so we're gonna see if you can get through the volunteer to be picked. And they say, "Do you know Mr. Medeiros?" No, I don't know you, because I don't know you. And then they say, "Well, he's African American, you're African American. Do you think you can be unbiased?" Absolutely. And so they bring the 25 charges, and they got you on videotape. And then at the end of the jury, they say, "Well, jury, what's the verdict?" And they say, "Well, we think he's guilty, but Mr. Brown says he's not, so we have a hung jury." Because I weighed all the evidence.
All right. And guess what they're gonna have after the hung jury, Mr. Brown?
Another trial?
Right. And you ain't gonna be on that one.
you're
But
not.
And then I'm going to jail. So thank you for the delay. Thank you for the delay in my imprisonment. And I'm still going to jail, my boy.
So listen
Doing
to this.
50 months like
so
Mr. Diddy.
So
Damn.
Mr. Wig, here's what I'm showing you, Mr. Wig, about us from the culture versus us from the community. So when people accuse me of things, I say, well, I'm a registered voter, and I go to my jury summons, and if I get picked, I can weigh the evidence regardless of who the person is. And even if it's an African-American male, I can weigh the evidence. You know why? Because I'm every bit as equal as a white man. See, when I go to these things, I'm just like a white man. I weigh the evidence, and I say, oh, there's not enough evidence to convict. So this is where you find out about people when they talk about they for the community or they're for black people. Because like Mr. Wiggs said, this man, Mr. Paxton, was so guilty that the House Republicans in Texas said, oh, no, you guilty. But the House Senate in Texas said, well, nah.
No, but it was the same. See, here's the thing, Richard. It was the same guys. The same guys that impeached them when it was time to convict them, they didn't.
But the House is the House. The Senate's the Senate in Texas. It's two different chambers.
No. It was still the Republicans got them in that spot.
The
But they
Republicans.
didn't. See, here's the thing. They didn't mean to. Too
Okay.
many of them. You know, when you're trying to fix something, too many of them jumped in, and he ended up in that spot. He was never supposed to end up in that spot at all. Once he was in that spot, Republicans were like, we're not going to convict him. And that's evident when there are 16 charges.
So the Republicans in the Senate in Texas said innocent versus the Republicans in the House said guilty. So what I'm simply saying to you, going back to this voting thing and this boycott for the black athlete, it amazes me how white people will say certain things to us, but then we watch their actions.
Mm.
And then when they say, well, you know, Richard, stop complaining, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or you're Stacey Adams, take your pick, Mr. Brown, take your pick. I want to be president. So, but when I turn around and say, well, I'm just like you, Mr. White Man, and when I go to the jury and hear the evidence against another black person, I say, well, the person's innocent. And they say, oh, no, you're just saying that because he's black. But wait a minute, I'm just like you, Mr. White Man. See, this is where you catch people at. And this is where I catch people in our own community. That's why I said I'm not down for the culture. Because all those black boys and girls who were marching the Black Lives Matter movement, were they registered voters? Probably not. But we don't know.
Why you say probably not?
Okay. Well, if they were registered voters, are they going to these juries? Because all these black
I
men,
would think the people that show up to protest are the same people that show up to vote.
Yeah.
Because your
For the
vote
most
is a
part.
protest.
okay.
That you want change.
You know what? Listen, when people watch the show and they don't see me get too emotional, and I say,
I'll tell you this, Richard.
Okay, go ahead.
If I was a white man or woman,
Okay.
and I looked at our turnout,
Right.
I would say, please.
Right.
Exactly. I agree with you on
They
that.
got the right to vote.
I agree.
They don't exercise it.
I
So why should
agree.
we give a damn?
And
Wait
so
a minute.
this is my
And I said
this is my issue with the whole thing, right? Because I do stand. Now I've got a personal beef with the NAACP since I've been here. I've been trying to get connected with them. It's a whole nother story for another time, right?
Are they in
Be on
Kentucky?
that. Same thing in LA.
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
you know what,
Yeah.
Lynn. See,
Okay.
Lynn, you got that Southern hate. There you go.
I'm just
But-
asking. I'm trying to get educated.
But this is and this is my issue with them because Lynn, you made a perfect point. Where have they been? Right? And it's the exact same thing when it comes to black issues for politicians every 4 years. They space in between. We don't hear shit from them
And here you come.
unless it's to gut something, right? Where have they been? So in a sense, I am very empathetic to saying these kids need to get out here and get on these fields. They got to make this money.
You got a window.
Yeah, there's an absolute window. However, I'll take a page from the Trumplicans book. They know this guy's horrible. They know this dude is filthy. They know that there's no reason for anybody to introduce $100 billion for a damn ballroom. They know this. They know we shouldn't be in Iran.
It's not 200 billion. It's 1 billion.
That's what I said. One.
No,
I said
400 million initially. Now
it was 200 million initially.
200 million. Okay.
And you ain't got. Hold on. He pulled the Mexican wall card.
Yeah.
You ain't got to pay for it.
Yeah.
I got the donors already lined up.
Lined up. Yeah. And so
with his donors.
so what I see.
With his
What I
staff
see
donors.
is what I wish we would reflect as well. There was a point where you couldn't push a piece of paper through the MAGA Republican wall. If it was look at the big beautiful bill. We read through that crap. We knew what was going on, and they still stuck together and pushed it through. We knew it was junk. We knew that him promising senators, well, hey, if they went through your phone records and subpoenaed you, you can get some of this money also. We know that's a load of crap. We understand how they're being bought. We understand how
Lindsey Graham tried to get 500.
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
500,000.
It was 500K.
He tried to get 500,000 because they went through his phone.
Yes. We know.
Well,
We
listen,
know and we understand that there's not about to be a deal made with Iran in the next 90 days. We know that we didn't get 90 deals in 90 days. We know that prices didn't go down, but they stuck to this motherfucker. They stuck with him through and through.
Yeah.
wait a minute. Let's
And
go
we
back.
should be doing the same thing. We
when he-
we might not agree with the whole movement, right? But there comes a point where you got to say, God damn it, we finna go for broke.
That's it.
Well, listen to this.
You mean like there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden. He's totally mentally fine. He's totally great for 2 years. And then he gets on a
Don't you
debate
start me
stage
talking
and he
about Trump
bombs.
debilitating man.
Wait. Bro, so if you
What I'm saying is like, yeah,
Get
stick
me
to your
revved
guns.
up
That
and talking
really
about
worked
these
out so
ankles
well.
that Trump has had on TV lately. Don't you get me talking about the old people bruises that Trump has displayed. Don't you have me talking about Trump passing out.
So when Lynn talks about where has the NAACP been?
That's why I call it
And I would say this.
I noticed that as well. I didn't say anything. I was laughing.
So listen, I want to say this respectfully. If you want to know where the
NAACP
has been, if you want to know where they've been, check APAC.
Go to the website.
Check your Jewish organizations. They'll tell you where they've been. See, now here's where I want to be really fair.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to come across as anti-Semitic. Because some black people don't care for the NAACP because they said it was started by a Jewish man to control us and control our voice. That's some black people that say that. Some. Other black people say, hey, us and the Jews, we can work together. And the Jews that they were working with were probably the Reform Jews, not the conservative or the Orthodox Jews. Okay.
I got to look into that.
But, no, you can look this up. So when you, Mr. Springboard, I think is the founder of the NAACP, a Jewish cat. So when people say, hey, why is the NAACP all of a sudden trying to be so boisterous? Are they doing the work on behalf of the Democratic Party? Probably. They got a lot to do with the white liberal, or some of those white liberals, quote, Nazi Jews? Probably, because they work together. So when we want to call things, so when I called out earlier about how the Jewish community works together in this country, I'm giving them the respect. The same for the Asian community and the Latino community.
Yeah.
When I look at the black community, we can't come together because we're chasing our own money individually. But that only came about because of integration. And that's why some black people, small percent, want to resegregate. Because when we were segregated.
Hey, you might be talking my language.
No. Some black people say that integration did not propel us forward. It took away our best blacks from the community because when we were just segregated, all the Lyns and Richards and Jay Glasses and Deuces and Mr. Wiggs, we were and Mr. Brooks too, we were all put in one area and we couldn't come out. And that's why Tulsa, Oklahoma was so successful in the early 1920s or whatever. And these other little black communities that were highly successful because integration couldn't pull the best out. It didn't allow us to chase money individually. We had to chase it as a collective.
And so that's another point, right? And that's why I have to also agree with what Brooks is saying, that the student athlete shouldn't have anything to do with voting. And that goes to Weird's point. And you as well.
18, but aren't they 18? Aren't the student athletes 8? Wait a minute. So the student athlete is 18 or above. They can go serve the country and die for the country, but they should not be worried about their political representation.
So this is.
Let me read something to you real quick, man.
Go ahead.
I'm doing some stats, right?
All right.
We're talking about all the states in the South: Texas, Georgia, Florida. We're talking about the Bible Belt states.
Texas is not in the South.
Ooh, come on, Southwest.
He said it with his chest.
Yeah, Southwest.
He's
wrong. They in the SEC.
By the way, Bible Belt states are Midwest and down, and it's not the South.
Okay. All right, y'all speaking not to my soul, to the bone marrow. Y'all went deep on that one. Okay. States in the South and Southeast, the Southern region, right?
Damn.
Texas, Georgia,
Florida.
Tennessee.
He still ain't say Texas.
Florida, all those places, right? Check this out. I looked at schools that have the highest NIL and our booster accounts.
Yeah.
And this is in no particular order. These are the highest ones. I'm gonna start with University of Alabama, 35 mil. Tennessee, 32 mil. UT has the highest. We all know that. Damn, they're $50 million, right? And to y'all point, we asking these kids to walk away from that paycheck. Brother, please.
Hell no.
I ain't about to do that. In that little bit of time.
It's not just the kid. It's not just the kid. It's the kid's family.
Yeah.
It's the kid's church.
It's mom.
I ain't doing that.
It's mom.
But
Mom's gonna be like,
this is my
fucking crazy
on that, though. This is and listen, I totally understand it, but here's the pushback, because these aren't the only schools that they can play for. The NFL isn't only the NFL isn't pulling team or pulling kids, or the NFL isn't only pulling basketball players from the eight states that the NAACP named. And so that's why I'm in a bit of a quagmire. And at the end of the day, it comes down to me of, you know what, let's say, and I will say this before I make this statement. Let me make this statement.
Here comes
the majority of the guests on this podcast don't promote violence. I'm an American. I ain't finna lie. We do promote violence in America. So with that being said, so let's
wait a minute. go back because I want people who watch the show know that we are factually correct in the things we say, and it's not just our opinions. So when Mr. Madera says that Texas is not the South, let me read to you the Confederacy.
That's a time machine rule. That's a flag on the flag. Time machine rule. Again, go back in time. Centuries to make your point today.
Why is education?
You don't have a point.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Why is July 4th, 1776 ingrained in your head? But when I talk about
ingrained in my head.
When we celebrate July 4th of 1776, even though they voted July 2nd, 1776, but they became recognized as the independence from England. All right. But the Confederate States, here's the funny thing about this, because I want people to hear this. There were 11 states. So you said, well, there's 13 stars. I'll get to that in a second. So the 11 states, of course, South Carolina would be first because they fired the gunshot. All right, they started the Civil War. Then you have Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina. So you said, where's the 12th and 13th stars? Well, you're talking to them because I'm from Missouri and Mr. Glass is in Kentucky. And I believe that Kentucky was a 12th star and Missouri was a 13th star because we were unofficially recognized because Missouri wasn't officially part of the Confederacy because we had.
So you just killed your argument because Missouri ain't in the South.
Missouri is the South.
Missouri's the Midwest player.
Let me say something. My God. The NCAA.
Did the Midwest?
We did this a couple of weeks ago.
Did the Midwest? Did Ohio? Hold on a second. This is where Mr. Brooks will help me. Did Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, did they have slaves? No, they did not. Missouri had slaves. Okay? So
that makes you Southern?
That makes it a Southern state because it had slaves.
Hold on. Did they ever have slaves up north?
No.
Ever?
No.
That's false.
If you look at to his point, if you look at North Carolina and South Carolina, for example,
guys, look,
if you look at
the NCAA,
and I think
look,
can I finish or what?
Kentucky.
Go ahead, Zoe. Hold on. Let
gentlemen, we're bringing it back to the historical aspects. Where did the NAACP get started? And according to the history books, it was starting in 1909. But the catalyst movement that started this was in Springfield race riot of 1908, because the Springfield, Illinois, where Abraham Lincoln was born, 6 people got killed by 100 white mobs, or 100 people in a mob. So the North, and my president, Abraham Lincoln, was the person that started this whole movement.
Right. No, that's not true.
The North,
wait a minute.
The Midwest.
Zoe, wait a minute. Let me stop you. So was there racism in the North? Absolutely.
Yes.
But the South owned the
slaves.
And Kentucky and Missouri both were slave states. Now, here's the one thing that nobody said, and I'll just say it because I know Lynn will catch it later. There was one state in the North that wasn't part of the Confederacy, and that state did have slaves, and that was called Maryland. Because I'm a truth teller. See, I'm on principle.
I told the truth, and you doubted it. Then you had to go to some artificial. See, I'm the real intelligence. You had to go to some artificial intelligence. I told you.
No.
They had
Rich had to repurpose it. Let me do this real quick.
Mr.
Let me do this real quick. Let me pull Richard back into the future. Let me pull Rich back into the future. As Rich went back in time. Listen, going back to the NCAA.
The Northeast Corridor.
Right. Going back to the
word.
See, Len, I'm pulling Rich back into the future. Len, you're pulling him back to the past.
Huh?
Look what you did. Len. I'm
trying to pull Rich back.
Len,
He's trying to bring Rich.
They got slaves in Maryland right now.
Yikes.
They got slaves in Maryland right now.
Damn.
It's called human trafficking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Touche.
when you see, this is when people, when white people love to talk about the great founding of our country, and then we as black people, we bring up the rest of the story, then they get mad at us because we have to know that part of history about the great things about America, but then we have to know the rest of the history that involves us on how we were brought over as enslaved Africans. And so when you know about this great civil war that freed the enslaved African, even though Mr. Glass, Abraham Lincoln didn't want to do that initially, you jumped me before you jumped me. So we have to tell the whole story.
Whoever said Mr. Lincoln is my president doesn't really again. Lincoln owned slaves.
No, he didn't, bro. Calm down, bro.
That was Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson.
Hey, Brooks over there using Gronk to research stuff.
Hey, why throwing shit?
Look. You see why you can't rely on that time machine?
No, look.
See what I'm saying?
And this is crazy because when Martin Luther King was moving his last speeches in Illinois, he came back to his constituents and he said, I am afraid of Illinois. And we all know why. Because in the North, even though, yes, famously we're known for the Union and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean that racism was not happening. It was happening all over. And let me bring it back to Texas. Respect to Texas. Texas is his own thing. Leave Texas out. Texas has always been cut that shit out because Texas has been always different. Honestly, it's been the balance for a lot of things. And
Texas is the home of Juneteenth because they said we ain't stopping slavery. We gonna keep it. It was the after party. Texas was the after party for slavery. Right.
Yes.
2.5 years later, they said, oh, my bad.
Texas said hook 'em, and they weren't talking about UT.
Huh?
Texas said hook 'em, and they were not talking about UT.
Correct.
So I think
wow.
I've never been to the South. Like, all respects to the people in the South. I think the South did pay a lot of things wrong, but they were hard-headed because all money was out there. Big old-time money. The foundation of America was based on slavery. That's why it became so rich, right? So, the ultimate money-making machine has always been
free labor.
Free labor.
Yeah.
And take it from a Mexican. You know what I mean? Like, we be doing work like no other. Sometimes I'm going around and I look at my own people, all respects to everybody because they all do their thing, because I couldn't step into, I don't know, a board of business people and be like, oh, let me step into this mainframe. I will get shafted. But if there was a person that came into my world, they'd be like, oh shit, it's hard being a Mexican. It's easy to judge a man, but it's hard to walk in another man's shoes.
Zoe, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm getting old and it's going to fall out my ear. Because in the first hour, Richard said that we are the only ones that use slurs against one another. Once again,
no.
Not to be true.
No.
Please educate President Richard Brown.
Hell no.
The slurs will be slinging back and forth at each other.
Look,
some of y'all use our slur.
Yes. Let me tell you something.
Hold on a second.
The Zoe could walk.
Rich, you gotta let Zoe explain.
I could walk in the Wild
He's
100,
misquoting me.
the West Side, South Side, and it's, oh, here comes Zoe, Joe. Oh, Zoe is brown. Oh, Zoe can let him in. I had passports around the city. In the North, I was, how you doing?
But
And,
Zoe,
the West Side, I was like, what up, dog?
Zoe, wait a minute.
Yes.
Zoe,
Yes.
hold on a second. So I believe in accuracy. So when he says, I said in the first hour, I said, Black people using derogatory terms against each other in music. That's what I said.
No. You did say that, but you also said that we do it to each other, and we're the only ones that do that.
Look, the first time I heard
do it in music.
Here to tell you. See, I wanted to tell you we're not the only ones, but Zoe is a better person to tell you that they use their slurs when they're in their own company in their community, they use those slurs against each other.
And the white community, the movies, guys.
Zoe, don't fall for this. Zoe, listen to me, Zoe.
Didn't they use the N-word? White people.
Zoe, stop right there. Stop right. No, Zoe, stop right there. Wait, hold on, Zoe. Zoe, stop right. Zoe, wait, listen to what I'm saying, because you just hit the nail on the head. Other minority communities don't use derogatory words in their music to express love or hate for each other. When we did that in the rap music, other minority communities, including the majority community, white people, started saying the N-word because they were singing in the songs. And now you have some whites and some Mexicans and some Latinos and some Asians using the N-word as a term of endearment or in the term of rage with each other. That's
I agree.
No good.
I agree.
I have something to say.
Oh, where that blue glove come from?
Word.
Oh, Steph, don't be coming at us with no blue glove like that. That scared me.
But I do think
that word has been used before rap.
Correct.
Before human trafficking, it has always been used.
That's not what I said.
Been used.
That's not what I said.
I'm telling you what I am saying right now, so please hear me. Please.
And she's wearing the blue gloves.
Yes. I'm ready. Who's next? No, but that word has always been used. You can't say that rap music is making people use that. And Zoe, since you're representing Latinos all over the world, Latinos have rap music that it's the same. I mean, they're trying to make money, not an excuse, but all of that culture, that hip hop culture, all of that stuff, this derogatory stuff with money, bitches, hoes, all of this, cars, jewelry, bling, that is not new. And it's not one race. Every race, Jews talk about each other and call each other bad names. Yeah. Asians do the same thing. Yeah. And listen, they use our slang for them too. So it's not just us. It's not just rap music. And even before then, when you listen to different music from back in the day, different genres, people use music, even poetry and different plays and everything. That type of disrespect for each other and ourselves or themselves has been passed down through the ranks. And to go even further, it's human nature. And especially when, we're talking about words, but then back in the gladiator days, when they used to just put us out there and kill us. Or kill people with animals and stuff. And it's that trafficking.
Mr. President, before you speak, I will say,
hold on a second.
Lady Stephanie, you are way scarier with gloves on.
One quick point. Let me make one quick point before you get started, Mr. Brooks. When people say that, about rap music and about derogatory words, we know that rap music was created by African Americans on the East Coast, okay? So when white people come to me and tell me, well, there's been slavery throughout the whole history of the earth, so the slavery that we went through with the enslaved African coming to America was no different than all the other slavery experiences. We as black people, we stop them real quick and say, you a damn lie. You a damn lie.
Let me ask you something. I'm asking something.
Before you continue, I wanted to finish what I was saying. Lady Stephanie, great to see you as well. Scarier with gloves on, by the way. Nobody's gonna mess with you. And two, damn, the blue glove reminds me of Lady Dexter. I guess we'll call it.
Nice, nice.
She's way scarier. And two, that was a high compliment, by the way. You know what I'm talking about. And two, I look at it like people will, in their own cultures, in their own pocket of us, we'll call it, will call each other names as an affection. In the that same pocket will call other people outside of it those same names as a way of degrading or denigrating them. You know, and so
that's human nature, like you calling your brother fat. But if somebody or your wife
100% right. You're 100% right.
Says that, it's on and popping, blue gloves, whatever, what kind of gloves.
I do think what Richard is saying, pays a big dividends in culture. Yes, that word has been normalized, but it pays a heavy, heavy price to normalize something that has been used as a weapon. I think that's what you're trying to refer as to. If you, for instance, me as a Mexican, if you listen to our Mexican, he understood some. I can't even I said that, but Spanish.
Yeah.
Some of our music is extremely violent.
Yeah.
And it's borderline. We play into our own
issues,
stereotypes. A cartoon-like stereo situation where, like, if I'm Mexican, I'm automatically a bad hombre. But knowing that Trump used to be a cool guy before he became a politician, he used to be part of the rap culture, guys. Let's be honest. Trump used to be, Tupac said,
they rapped about him, but they rapped about him about his. Yeah, they didn't want to be him. They just talked.
I don't think I can accept it the way you. I hear what you're
but
saying.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying part of being.
You know that song, like Trump or whatever. He's talking about the money in Trump Towers.
He used to be a big part of rap culture. He used to be like a really big part of like WWE wrestling. I guess you call it.
And he was at Home Alone.
He used to be huge.
Like, he's a brand.
He's still huge in the UFC.
He's a brand. Yeah, he was.
Bringing it back. We all play into that whole Americana. Like, let's just be honest. I was influenced heavily. The first musicians that I was even influenced for, Elvis. I had no idea that he copied black culture.
Right.
All I know was that this guy could move.
Black people like Elvis. Yeah.
And Forrest Gump played into that. Oh. Like Elvis invented the blues or something.
Yeah.
When you're growing up, a young brain, you don't know. All you know is TV speaking onto us. So I do think that art is very delicate and has played into playing into fiction and things that are made up. We don't know.
Well, as they say, art imitates life.
Yes. And so bringing it back to the cohesiveness of the question. Yes, the NCAAP has the right to do what they're doing and ask. We need to stand up because they have a tremendous influence. The young culture needs to readdress things into the future because we have done our part. But bring it back to Richard. If you don't vote, you're out. If you don't stand up for the integrity of your people, you will be out. I have actually walked these lines and it sucks. It sucks to be you. This is as far as you're gonna go. Let
me throw this out there. And again, it comes down to having a full forced forward-leaning intention on getting what we want. Deuce, if you had your say in it, because I'm going to ask everyone, if you had your say in how to get this done, what would you say? How should we attack this? Do we bring in the future, or do we simply use the present and the past?
If I was the NAACP, I'm sorry, NAACP.
Cut that
out, man. Flip. I'm sorry, guys. If I was them, I would bridge the two. I would not ask future athletes to give up that bad, man. Because I think one thing that I don't like about the NAACP is that they're stuck in time. They borrow Richard's time machine and go back in time, but they don't never come back. Richard comes back at least. He goes back to the future. They never do.
Yeah.
They think the tactics that worked back in the civil rights era is going to work now. Times were different then. Nobody had anything. So there was nothing to lose. Now these cats got bags of money. And we're talking about Kaepernick and some other cats. If you become politically active now, you think a team going to draft you? You're going to be a disruptor. You're going to be, what LeBron said, fit in, not fit out. It's going to hurt draft stats. Yep. It's going to hurt future money. It's going to hurt your legacy. It's going to hurt your family's generational wealth, right? That's a lot. So cutting it short, getting to the point, I think going back to something what Lynn brought up with Jasmine Crockett campaign. Cats ain't getting out to vote, man. How about tackling that problem there? because that's the issue that we have. We don't have the right people in offices to fight this. So pay for Uber. I'm not saying pay voters, provide transportation, whatever that looks like. Mobilize people to take people to the voting polls. Pay for Uber, Lyft rides, whatever that looks like. The best practices. Let's do that.
But they got to get registered first. You got to get registered.
Let's get that movement too. Rock the Vote was big when Obama was in. They were advertising. They had the stars behind it. That's the most connected I've seen the Democratic Party since, man. Now it's like the broken jigsaw puzzle, man. One that you bought from T-Move. So let's try to get that together. That'd be my answer, man. Combine the two, but tackle the problem. Stop putting Band-Aids on it. Let's get people out to vote, registered and out to vote. Let's help that through transportation, through creative marketing, through messaging.
I'm afraid to move over to you, Brooks, but how would you attack it?
Frankly, I agree with Deuce. You can't just ask the young people who are trying to have careers to do that. That's like an unfair. That's the easy way out, actually. That's like we'll ask them because we didn't have to do it. We didn't have to do it. So what? We'll just ask the young up and coming athlete who never experienced what X generation had to experience. So they're the easiest person to attack. It's stupid and it's slow. And the young generations are like, screw you. Why? Like, you didn't do it. Like why do we have to do it? I'm trying to get out here to make my money. I'm trying out here to get this bag or have an amazing NFL career or whatever pro sport you're in. I'm not going to follow you because you didn't do anything. And then you're going to turn around and ask me? Hell no. So how I would do it, it'd be like, hey, Generation X, which we don't give a fuck about anything, or Generation, I'm one of those, we just don't care. Good. Enjoy your fun. Enjoy your laugh. Enjoy your time and situation. Leave us alone. You know what I mean? I'm 48. I love watching this shit. This is my soap opera, watching Trump beat the Democrats and eating popcorn and drinking whiskey, because they're the ones who put themselves in this situation.
We watching the same show, Brooks?
Yeah.
He's in a different season.
The ones who lost.
Damn, dog.
And he's in office.
OJ.
Damn, dog. What was that? That was supposed channel conversation commercial for fucking Fox News to the next fucking level.
Wow. Hey, though you might feel how you feel, that's okay. That's all right. I love your opinion.
No,
that's great.
it is not okay.
But every platform.
Let me finish what I was going to say, and then you can say whatever you like. Let me finish what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
My point being is, if they didn't suck so bad, Trump wouldn't be in office again. Period.
Zoe would disagree with you.
And no so tacos for you, dog.
It's
no tacos for you, bro. No tacos.
I love tacos, damn it. I live in Sunnyvale.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
My point being is hey, for me, as an Ohioan, man, who's now watching this in California, blue as all hell. I'm like, you guys don't see the forest through the trees. You keep saying the same shit and still losing. Well, when are you going to do something different? Why? And then my point, that is to say is how are you going to get this actually done? Is you have to start afresh, anew, not the same old voices, not the same old faces. You got to be hey, how about a message that actually resonates with the young people to actually get them to do something? And
so
how
about
a message to get the older people to actually get them to do something
you know what? Hey, so
hold on. Can I respond to Brooks?
It's not a response to Brooks, right? Because the question was a response to me, and the question is, how would you do this?
Can I respond to you, James? Can I respond? Because that was a great question. I would respond in this form. What would happen if we didn't have cases like Brown versus the Board of Education? And the answer is quite mesmerizing just to even think about that. Well, the NCAAP was the founding catalyst to all this.
NAACP.
Right? And sorry, I'm
now,
a little
excuse me. Brooke says N is N and 2 A's, NAACP.
NAACP.
That's it.
That was Rich messing it up earlier.
For the advancement of colored people.
So in essence, and mind you, I just reminded everybody that this NAACP was over here in Illinois. We got it jumping, right? We began this movement sort of because of that race situation that I just spoke about in Springfield. Right. So as an Illinoisan and Abraham Lincoln, the state that basically produced the greatest president in the history of the United States, the stand still stands as we are divided for the wrong things. And as long as we are divided by skin color, we're basically shafting ourselves. A lot of different things came from brown, white people, what have you. But we're still stuck in 1950 something or 60s. So to the youth and to the Mr. Brooks saying that we don't give a shit about nothing, I actually totally disagree with you, because as soon as someone treats me bad at a business place, I don't tell them this is the last time I'm gonna hear you and I'm not gonna go on the way. I just stop going to those places, and I don't spend my money where if people don't back us up, meaning the people that are getting shafted, I don't go there. My body doesn't go there. So the answer is, if you want real movement, you got to do it in secret, and you got to fund those things that really care and make a difference. And
so I like that answer, dude. I really do. I respect that answer.
Listen to this.
I really do.
Listen to this.
I was coming over to you, Rich. I was coming over to you for the same questions. Go ahead.
Oh, about what would I do? You know, you have to do both. Here's what I know. When people
that was vague as hell.
When people I didn't hear
we gotta do clarify. I think he was about to clarify.
He said like 3 words.
I think he was about to elaborate. He was about to elaborate.
Here's my thing. When people say, "Hey, Mr. Wig hit it on the point. We all have to be part of the African American community." But when people say, "Hey, don't put this on the black athlete. We got to cut them a waiver. Then we'll have to cut some other black people a waiver." My thing is, you know what? If that's the case, and we're not all in this together, then don't ever criticize somebody who doesn't vote Democrat. Don't ever criticize a black person who supports Trump or anybody else, whether they're crazy for supporting Trump or not. Stop all the criticism of other black people. This is why I always support black people, whether they're a Democrat, Republican, or no party preference. I still support them as long as they're registered voters. And even if you're not a registered voter, I'm still going to support you.
Yeah.
So now that we realize that everybody's out looking for themselves, trying to make their money, well, if that's how you feel, then we never had a black community to begin with after integration happened. And that's all I have to say. So from this point on in these podcasts, I don't want to hear about, well, we got to stand together. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Damn.
Like these young black athletes, they're not standing with us. They're trying to get paid. They look out for their own individual interests of taking care of their family. So with that being said, from this point on, I don't want to hear nobody talk about, we got to stick together. What about the culture? What about the community? No, I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. No. Keep all that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you guys say, we got to make our money. We got to do what we got to do to take care of our own individual needs. Because after integration happened and we were allowed to live around other people outside the black community, well, then I don't ever expect these young black athletes, when they make it to the NFL, I'm not going to come and ask you to donate some money to a black cause, because you're not part of the black cause. Because when it was time for you to really show up and support it a long time ago, you said you didn't have time for it. So if you didn't have time for it then, which means to that black athlete, since you don't have time for this black cause, and when you get to the NFL and you marry somebody outside the community, I already knew what you were going to do. You already showed me who you were when times got tough. So I don't have no expectations on any black person from this day forward on this podcast. I just don't.
Well, don't be like that, bro.
Until
I still love y'all. But when white folks come to pull somebody's card, they can't pull my card. I go right back at them with the same force that I go with my own with. So when the white folks are watching this and they're like, well, hey, Who cares about how we treat you? You're going to keep playing football for us anyway. So I can call you the N-word. I can do anything I want to do to you, and you'll keep coming out here on this football field. You'll keep making those movies in Hollywood. You'll keep singing these rap songs. And if I tell you to get out here and shovel this street, you'll do that too. And if you don't, I'll put you in jail and still make you do it.
And it all comes down to the almighty dollar, bro. That's the boss.
Hold on, Joe.
The almighty dollar is how my ancestors came to this country, off the pursuit of the almighty dollar, because somebody said in Europe, we are racially superior to you. And by the destiny of God's glory, I can drag you from Africa, from whatever African country I want, to this country and enslave you and treat you like your 3/5 property. And God backs me up on this. And the money is the verification that God's on my side. Well, then the white man is right. How's that?
Damn. That's salty.
Steph,
no, that's how the white folks look at it. Because I have enough.
Richard. Thank you. Richard, have you ever been on an airplane? Ever?
No, I don't fly.
Okay, so you're dishonest. So this is your problem. So let me explain to you what happens on an airplane.
The truth bearer is dishonest. I just want to let that be known.
A woman or man tells you that a mask may drop out of the ceiling. When that mask drops out of the ceiling, you are supposed to secure your mask first. Then, once your mask, I'll call it the bag, once your bag in college is secure, then you can help the community.
Help other people.
And that's what the white man, and that's what the white man, that's what the white man said when he drug us over here. He had to secure his bag first.
Let me cook. Humans are built to survive.
That's
not. You keep interrupting me. I didn't ever interrupt you.
I'm sorry.
When you went down you're finished with the black race diatribe.
Until he's not.
Until next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anyway, humans are not built for success. Success is taught. And the reason why my community is not as successful as others is because we don't do any teaching. We don't teach by example, and we don't teach with our mouths.
We criticize.
That's true.
We don't.
We criticize.
We complain.
No, I don't often agree with Mr. Medeiros, but he's right. Like, I grew up, like, Mom, get your undergrad, get your bachelor's, get your master's, get your doctorate.
Hold on,
One of the things we do when we criticize Africans, what do Africans' parents tell them to get when they come here?
Education.
What kind of education? No, be a doctor, be an engineer.
Yeah. Lawyer.
You know, right.
The best. Be the
right.
best.
My boy that was the black stormtrooper in Star Wars. His father was deeply disappointed in him because he was not a doctor, even though he became part of the biggest movie machine Hollywood has ever known. Yeah. His father in Africa was deeply disappointed.
Still mad. Yep.
So what's my answer? My answer is we take our energy, we put it into information and education, and get people registered to vote. Yes. Then once they are registered to vote, we energize and get their asses to the polls so they can vote.
And it's not new.
And it don't matter which way they vote. Just go there and vote. Because for me, once you vote, I will listen to your complaints. Otherwise, but if you don't vote, I will show you where the complaints is.
Yep.
And that's what I got.
So what I have is what I've said, I guess, the last couple of times, which leads to what Deuce was saying and what Lynn is saying, of course, information and education. And teaching or coming together and teaching the younger generations what to do, just like we were taught. And even though it seems like everybody is going to hell from different opinions in this podcast, I'm like, what are you talking about? There are people who help already. That's how we are educated and informed, that we vote, because of our elders and ancestors. It's been passed down. The only other thing I would say is, instead of always browbeating and putting down and saying what is not being done, be humble and be you can be coachable, because we were taught we had to be coached and learn how to be a good coach to other people and to young people, so that they will listen to you. I'm not going to listen to somebody that's always telling me I'm wrong because I'm different, because I don't do things the way that other people do it, and because my generation is different. And even what was the Mikey, that guy, he was, remember when he was on, he was saying,
Fannin?
yeah, Mikey was like, they ain't listening to y'all because, that some people don't even think marching helps anymore. He wasn't saying that he didn't, but he was saying they're going to do things like they do it. And there are organizations that help each other. And there are young people that volunteer for the different political parties. And like with the all of the voting that just went on here, you saw the young people helping the organizations, helping the Democrats, the Republicans, everybody's party doing the thing. So they're learning too. So I don't know where this big well, it's the numbers, of course, but the people that don't seem to be involved. But work with the people. If you have a party, work with the people and celebrate people that come to the party. You can go back and trip off of and help other people later, but concentrate on and celebrate what is right, versus always condemning and saying what's wrong. What is right, because they are different. It's a different generation. So let's work together. Get off our high horses about what used to and all that. All of that plays together, and we need it as fuel, because we have to learn from the past, or else it'll keep repeating itself. And then let's help each other. Let's help them. And then they can help us too. They can help us do stuff faster. So, we can help them with the heart of things, reminding them where we came from, our culture and our history. But at the same time, they can help us get it across faster. So let's work together and be positive about the change that we want, and celebrate the changes that we have made and how far we have come. We got a long way to go, but we have come a long way also. That's what I have. Look.
So what I say is, and I said it earlier, there has to become, we have to get to a point where we are an impenetrable force. We talked a lot about getting to the bag, but what we haven't realized as a culture, as a community, as a group of people, is we are the bag. We're at least $1.8 trillion of the bag a year. That's what we are. That's what we are. And if we, like I was saying, if we learn how to leverage the bag and then leverage the other part that we have coming in, we won't have these issues. We won't. The reason why we have these issues is because there has been a purpose-driven action to keep us, instead of being able to make a fist, we stay like this. And our fingers are always being broken because we don't actually clutch and protect the softest part of our hand and make a fist. And that's the issue. And I tend to, when it comes to this type of topic, actually, I tend to lean towards Richard, because at some point there has to be a point where you say, hey, I'm an immovable object. And if I see Lynn walking down the street, and I ain't got to know Lynn, but he on the opposite side and I'm waving and he waves back, and I see a group of people rushing over to Lynn that don't happen to look like us, well, I'm going to run across the street to help protect Lynn. I don't care what happened, and I will put myself in jeopardy. I will put myself in harm's way But we got to protect this brother because he's got to be able to see his day in court. Whatever he might have robbed a bank.
Brothers in the hospital.
Right. But we've got to get to that point. The colleges are looking for they're looking for our student athletes. And it's kind of like the vote. The politicians are looking for our vote, but we've given them the power. And instead of us picking and choosing the way we want with our $1.8 trillion, we've simply said, hey, we got this. Somebody manage it for us. Somebody else come manage this for us. We don't know how to be responsible with this. Somebody come manage our vote for us. We don't know how to be responsible with this. Somebody come manage our children's talent. We don't know how to manage this. Somebody come manage our freedom because we don't know how to manage this. We've got to get to a point in a place to where it becomes an immovable, impassable, unpenetrable object, a force. We have to become a force. And sometimes that takes on the mantle of being so militant that, hey, they look at us and be like, oh, we're just crazy over there. No, go. Don't mess with them. We know that we hear about legislation being pushed towards the Trumplican side of the aisle, and we all be like, man, these motherfuckers, this is some book. But unfortunately, it's gonna get passed because they're an impenetrable object. Then they're moving the way they want to move and going the way they want to go. And it's unfortunate and it's unfair. But they've set their standards and their boundaries, and our community refuses to do that. That's all I'm saying. So we can go get the money, but we are shut up, stir fry. My cat. But we already are the money.
We are the bad. Back at you too.
Yeah, she always do that. I'm a cat named Johnny.
Even the cat's trying to come on the show and say his piece. Yeah. What about us?
Now she's stepping on my feet, running around. But we're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. I know we kind of mentioned this.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, cat. I love my kitty. That's my baby. I got to get her fixed. We're at 2 hours and 22 minutes on this topic, and I wanted to come back and talk about it because there have been more things that have come out about it, and there's been stuff put in black and white, and just like a lot of other things that come to us, we've become divided on it. And I wish we would become somewhat segregationalists so that we can get ourselves together and then re-engage in the American experience.
Just as long as we realize everybody ain't coming over here, I think we'll be fine. Like I say, work with the people that are workable, able with, that you can work with. Them other folks, let them go.
Because some people, I'm just like, nah, just I'm sorry you breathing. But that's a whole nother story for another time.
Uncle Ruckus and them, let them go.
Hey, it's some people. I'm almost like Wiggs. I feel sorry for the hospital.
Look, Harriet Tubman, that's why she had that gun. Everybody didn't want to go. But if you started, you was going to finish.
Yeah, you got to leave some folks. That's what it comes down to being. So with that being said, we're gonna I don't know how much longer y'all want to be on. Y'all got to be on. I got a thing in the morning. But if anybody want to hop on,
wrap up myself.
No problem. All right. Well, we won't do well. Yeah, I tell you what, I'll see. We'll check the post backstage, but we got a dip as always.
Oh, you went to the round.
What happened?
Around the horn.
You gotta do around the horn.
Okay. I thought that was kind of the around the horn, but since I put the expectation out there, I gotta stay committed.
Let it go with no overtime.
Right? Come on,
man. Fair enough. Around the horn. We will do around the horn That's the expectation that I set. So start with Rich. And actually, yeah, Rich, because last week you gave your time to Deuce.
You cannot give your time away.
So listen,
I agree with Lady Stephanie. You got to actually say something.
All right, so I'll make mine real quick. Listen, you find out about people and their principles when money's on the table. And it doesn't matter about race or religion. You find out about people when there's money on the table. You find out if they're looking up as the whole group or just at their own individual self-interest about themselves and their families. And so I put that on my Facebook comment, and I said that people are watching this show. And so when we talk about things, we shouldn't criticize nobody for doing what they do, voting how they vote or anything, because we don't really have an African-American community anymore. Everybody's out for themselves. Thank you very much. I'm Richard Lewis Brown.
That's
no president.
All right. Brooks.
Hi, team.
Hello.
I am not president or anything, but I will say this. Great conversation. Great conversation tonight. Again, Brother James, love the platform. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you, actually.
Thank you.
I would say, again, to this topic, no, you shouldn't put this onus on the youth. Really, you just shouldn't, because it's not gonna work out. It's just not smart. It's a dumb tactic, actually. You got to put this on like the people who came before the youth. That's their onus to do, because like they're just complaining about something that they want the youth to do because they didn't get it done in their era. And so sucks to be them, whatever. To the team here, great conversation. Zoe, looking forward to hearing you and your voice for like future podcasts. I really am excited about the whole thing, and thank you, team. That's all I gotta say. And I'm glad to Mr. Medeiros, who didn't wear the University of Spoiled Children hat.
I can go get it. I go get it for my around the horn performance if you need it. I never keep it far away.
Oh wow. That was out of love, my friend. So. All right. That's all I got.
All right. Biggie Zoe, you next.
All righty. Shout out to the family bloodline for increasing the knowledge and wisdom to our constituents. We are a national conversational podcast, and I love being a part of it whenever I jump on. I think these questions are excellent. I do believe that a great conversation leads to further the movement, whatever the movement may be as an American, the American experience. I believe that we're going to keep on rocking in the free world, meaning that if you do stand up for your fellow man, that puts you already somewhere in the history of doing the right thing. And doing the right thing begins by voting and exercising your rights as an American. Know your rights, know what you're capable of, and you gotta believe in yourself to be a good example for the next person with you. So peace and love, everybody.
I can dig it. Going up the line, Deuce. Welcome back again, Deuce. You was gone for a while.
I know it's good to be back, man. I missed y'all.
He stayed late. Look.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hey, right. The schedule's back on point now. It was a little crazy. I'm back. They got 4 points. GMGB. Okay. 1. I don't know what in the Gucci clone happened to my boy Rich, but that was the most unspirited version of him I seen. Bring old Rich back. 2. Mobilize voters in NAACP. Come on. Did it before, let's do it again. 3. Gut the gout. Gut the gout. I ain't saying, what is it? Get the, what Trump said, he's gonna clean the swamp. Gut the gout. The Democratic Party. Yeah, thank you. The Democratic Party is old and full of gout. We need to gut them out. I'm not even talking about physical age, mental ideology, right? Mental ideology. That needs to be gutted, cleaned out. Go, Chuck Schumer. Can we cuss? Oh, no.
They've been dropping
Get the freak out. Get the freak out. I'm gonna say that.
I've been cussing all night.
Did we? I forgot.
Oh, we have a lady president.
And then my last one, because it was GMGB, blue coordination. I seen what Steph did. I just noticed that the Post logo is blue. She wore blue gloves. I like what you're doing. Advertising the Post. I see what you're doing out there. I like that. Coordination is key. That's all I got.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, Stephen Lynn.
Oh, well, look, I'm all about peace, love, and what's the other word? I guess it's tolerance, but just, you know what? Chill out. We need to help each other. And don't do it from a throne, you know. Do the work. Put your feet on the ground. What are you doing? You know, other than complaining. Help people, like Lynn said. Was that you that said it earlier? Somebody said like helping people to register and taking them a vote. Again, I've said it.
That would be me.
Yeah, I've said it.
Whoa. That was one of my GMGB. That was one of my points.
Oh, okay.
But
earlier today too. So I mean, everybody, you know, a lot of us are on one accord in the same direction. And yeah, just because we're doing something right, don't dog people that aren't. Again, help them if they want to be helped, and if they can't, God bless them. You know, and people have the right to disagree, to complain. Look, to not register and to not vote. But again, like I said a couple of times before, I don't want to hear your complaints. You can complain, but go do that somewhere else. I don't hate you or anything like that, but I don't want to hear about that. If you're not helping the solution, then you could be helping the problem. So I'm glad everybody gets to express their own opinion and respectfully, and I'm glad that we're here to listen. So, but do what you can do. Do what you can do.
Lynn?
I really enjoyed this topic. I believe the solution is simple, but not easy. In that, you know, stop focusing on the exception and focus on the rule. And the rule is that when we get our numbers up, like if the Black community was in sales, their sales manager would be kicking their butt this time of the month because there's only a couple of days left before you got to turn your numbers in. We got to get our numbers up. We got to get our registered voter numbers up. We got to get our turnout numbers up, and we got to get our activity up. Mm-hmm. We got to get our information and education and our knowledge up. You know, the upside is tremendous for us, but we got to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's the part where, you know, simple plan, but not necessarily, it's a labor intensive execution. But I believe in my folks. If I got a team that I'm going to bet on, I'm going to bet on. I'm always bet on Black. Me and Wesley Snipes. You know, so that's all I got.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share.
Cat up there. Stir Fry got to say about these issues.
Stir Fry gonna get put in price.
Stir Fry saying a lot right now, dude.
Yeah, Stir Fry getting on my nerves, and it's my fault because I ran back down here and I left the door open. But I wanted to share this, with not just the panel, but with America in general. We have we've been talking about and promoting voting And whenever we're talking about and we're promoting voting, we're not saying to go vote blue. We're not saying to go vote red. We're saying to go vote. Participate in the American experience. And MAGA. Why does this make you so upset? First, let me say this. I can interact with people in multiple different ways. I prefer to be cordial. But what I won't do, this is not the type of podcast to where you say something slick and I'm not going to troll you.
Right.
I'm retired. I ain't got shit else to do but come up with stuff. And some days when I'm feeling extra funny and I think I'm hilarious, shut up, stir fry. I'm going in. But I said that to say I want to double down on something. Get out of here.
I think the cat is mad. Stir fry read the comments. He read the comments.
Jeez. My comments be so great. It'd be so great. It'd be like, like James, you're wrong.
Right. But what I want to say is I want to speak to the heart of MAGA. Because what I've gotten tired of hearing. First off, I told America, y'all motherfuckers ain't finna keep gaslighting me. And when you do, I'm gonna point out where your gaslight is coming from, and I'm going to wreck you on it. MAGA can no longer tell me that they're not racist.
Right.
You can't tell me that anymore. What I will say is, not every person that's MAGA is racist, but every racist is MAGA. And I'll stand on it. These are y'all's people, MAGA.
Hey, I want to know that Scott.
Hold on. Give me a second. It's saying, because I want to read this from a guy who says he owns a car repair shop in Downsville, Louisiana, named Frank Gallagher. Gallagher. All right. I've looked up his profile. This guy right here, right? I've looked up his profile. Mm-hmm. The family bloodline, that's usual. Fucking monkey ass guy. You aren't special. And we went back and forth. And I told him, Frank Gallagher, I said, bro, you live in a town named after you because it's called Downville. You have no power here, Neanderthal. And I laughed at him. But it continued this way.
I bet your mom told you to say that? Oh,
yeah, right. If you only knew, LMAO, preach on, my nigga. Like I'm none of these things to you. I'm none of these things. MAGA, why don't you correct your people? If you don't want people calling you racist, stop letting them do racist shit in public.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, you need to share
that. I know you, Mr. Glass. And so I usually don't, if I say shit, I may say it once on a podcast.
That's what I see.
But I know that you and Mr. Medeiros and Mrs. Medeiros and Mr. Brooks and Mr. Deuce, see, y'all are highly professional black folks. I know that. I respect that. But when I was running my campaigns and I had to tune up white folks online, you would have thought I lost my natural black mind. Because I don't give two fucks. When they come for me, I'm coming for your fucking neck. And I ain't backing up. And I'm not trying to act racist. I'm not trying to be the defender of the black community. But white boy, when you coming, I'm going to come for you and your mama and your daddy and your wife and your kids. Now that's called war. And you know Geneva Convention saving you. So I say that on behalf of Mr. Glass, because he's like my little brother, and he's professional. But when I see him hurting, now I'm hurting. And that's why I was so professional tonight about this conversation, about the boycott. But now he has to put something up like this with some white folks who ain't about shit. But he's professional. So don't ever send me their names and let me go to work on them. Because I'll go fucking all night, all fucking day. Because I'm a social.
We are around the horn.
I know. But I try to be professional and always blah blah blah, because people in the union are still watching me, and they'll keep coming for me any which way but loose. At this point, you can put all the liens on my home that you want. I'm still here. I'm still standing. Okay,
you're around the horn.
All these abstract judgments, but when I see certain stuff like this, and I know that my little brother is upset, now I'm upset. So
hold on. When did this happen? This week or this happened today?
Looks like
3 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. I look.
If you tag my black ass, if you tag R.L. Brown and you get me involved,
but I don't tag y'all on purpose, right? I don't tag y'all because there are some comments amongst the BS, right? There are some comments where we actually have dialogue and we converse, and I invite people on. But I just wanted to point this stuff out, right? I wanted to point all of this information out, and I'll go back tomorrow and I'll tag everybody in it on here. That way you can go and read it and you can see exactly what I've said back and so on and so forth. But like I don't know who Mike Griffith is. Well, and this is a perfect example of why we think you're dummies. If you vote blue, you're going to get screwed. Vote Republican. Statistics, yada 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 yada.
But listen to this. When y'all go at them and you're voting blue, see, now they feel justified. But see, I don't vote blue. I don't vote red, blue. Well, hold on. But when they try to, but see, I know how these white folks play, and they can't come for me because I don't belong to no fucking political party. And I was fighting for white people. So when they want to come for me, I'm like, well, hold on a second. I know exactly where you're coming from. And in some cases, you're right. And in some cases, you're wrong. And that's why they can't really come at me the same way. So I got elected in by white folks who were Republican. Oh, I know I did. And I didn't get no minority votes. And I never gave up my blackness by getting these white folks to vote for me. So, but when you want to act a little funny and get on Facebook and put some stuff in some comments, you want to be a little shitty? Oh, okay. Because, but I know that you guys are professional. You're not going to go there like I'll go with some people.
Well, go back and look at some of them comments.
I hold back a little bit. But I know that when you have to bring this up to us, then that's really upsetting you. Because if it didn't piss you off, you wouldn't be talking about it to us.
Well, one of the reasons why I brought it up is because what I told them that I'm going to do, and I'll let the panel know also, is I'm going to start recording all these conversations and I'll post them just like they're alive.
Yes.
Because and what I'm going to do on the side is I'm putting people's profiles and I'll look their businesses up.
Yeah. That's what a lot of influencers are. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I guess they are influencers. That's what a lot of them are doing. Whenever somebody says something that's out of line and crazy, like those people have, they find them and they put all their information out there for people to come after them. They're just exposing them because everybody wants to be a badass behind the on the keyboard. So they expose them, and a lot of them get in trouble. They get fired. All this kind of stuff. People do that with cheating spouses and racists.
Yep.
So,
I was here. Did you hear about racist?
Everybody get fired, because again, we're not trying to be cancel culture kind of stuff.
If they come with that bullshit that, cancel them, man. Because when somebody tries to have a sensible conversation, come with your point. Attack the damn point. Right. Don't attack the person. If you go to a doctor or you go to somebody and they think of you like that, like you're a fucking dog or an animal, I don't want you working on my body. I don't want you to be my therapist. I don't want you to touch my damn car. I have no sympathy for people like that, man. I don't know how you do. I don't understand that.
What I was saying is we know because the pendulum can swing both ways.
Already has.
And we've seen it.
It already has.
100%. And I agree with you. And what I'm saying is yes, people can have irrational opinions, and you have to let them say their irrational opinions without trying to
time out.
Wait. Without
that's not an irrational opinion, Brooks. He's attacking a person. Attack the ideal all you want to.
Let me just say.
No. I wasn't saying if they're attacking a person, 100% right.
Right now, what you're reading that stuff to me this is why it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes policy. For instance, a lot of people that are illegal immigrants or the illegals, they put. We didn't see dogs attack people, but we saw people get shot in Minnesota for having this kind of propaganda. Right? It's borderline Nazism.
So we're
Right?
still live. We're still live on Facebook.
It is. Because I'm trying to be
live.
politically correct.
Yeah.
But this is the worst of humanity live in effect.
Let me tell you, when I spoke at a Black Lives Rally Matter, right, and I had various different views than them, some similar, some opposing.
Yeah.
What I said at that rally is, if these motherfuckers are going to be bold enough to say something, you better be bold enough to respond in kind. I don't believe in the same type of Jesus they do. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm a very nice guy. I'm a very pleasant fella. I love to have dialogue. But don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Right.
There are boundaries and patience that I won't have, and I don't have, and I won't allow I will not defend the indefensible.
Well, but here's the thing,
shown that they're a piece of shit.
Right.
Let them know.
But here's the funny thing about this, and this is where Mr. Brooks makes a solid point. When you're on Facebook, they're going to attack your ideas. They're going to attack you. They're going to attack anybody who's attached to you. So when you're on Facebook, there is no such thing as Facebook etiquette, unless somebody cries and goes to Facebook, and then Facebook tries to silence your speech because they said you tried to provoke violence.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna do that.
Or racism, or you call somebody a racist epithet. So you can't promote violence. You can't say I'm gonna come bomb you. You can't call somebody the N word or a W word or
No, it's calling them monkeys and all that.
Great point. So hold on. So because you did not contact Facebook to say, hey, look, that monkey is a derogatory term for African Americans. So you kept the conversation going and said, well, since this person wants to engage like this, let me respond in kind. So with that being said, I say if you go on Facebook and argue, you're almost ready for the courtroom, but not quite. But you have to have such a thick skin, because when I was on Facebook doing my videos and they were attacking everything I was saying, even though I'm trying to get people a substantial pay increase.
Well, it's evidence. It's evidence.
Yeah. So sometimes people would say stuff about me and I would copy their post in the time and I'd put it up. And then when I come back for them later, but I'd argue half the night. And all day while I'm on my job, I'd be arguing during the COVID. I was working, arguing. My bosses would come in whenever they drug in, my Republican bosses, because everybody else didn't want to come in. And then they were like, why are you still coming in? Well, so I'm the job steward. I got to come in. I said, well, you coming in? Well, yeah, I'm coming in. Well, you think I'm going to let you come in and outwork me? And they know at that time I was a Democrat. And they just shake their head and laugh and go on down the hallway. So, when people come on Facebook, they're coming for your neck.
Yeah.
They want to see if they can break you. Now, some people in kind, they're not as good as Lynn. Lynn sometimes comes to break my neck, but he's just doing it to see what I'm going to do for that particular night. But when they come on Facebook, they're kind of doing it to see, can I take the heat? Because some of these white people are not really racist. They want to see, can you take it? And some of them actually are racist.
Yeah, they are.
Some of them. So when you have to try to separate.
Listen,
I'm not going to do all that. I'm
time to sort. You and all in the same bucket.
Yeah, I'm quick in math, but not that quick. I don't have time to try and give a ratio of who actually is and who isn't. But what I am going to do, and it's not cancel culture, if you say something foolish, you should be okay with it being put in public.
So when they call you a monkey, when they
I'm
call
not
you a monkey,
anybody. That's what I didn't ask for him to say that. He made a conscious decision to type that out himself.
So when they called you a monkey,
and that wasn't the worst thing that he said.
Wait a minute. But when they called you the monkey, did you refer to him as a monkey as well, or how'd you respond back to me?
No, I told him the truth. I said that he's a Neanderthal. So that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. I'm not I'm not cancel culture.
So you didn't. So when he called you a monkey, you didn't say, "Well, that's funny," because when I was talking to your mother last night, she was cooking breakfast this morning.
No,
you know.
no,
but, hold on, wait a minute, hold on.
No,
when he called you a monkey, you didn't come right back and say, "Well, when your mother was cooking breakfast for me this morning, last night I wasn't no monkey." Well, if I was, we were both monkeys together. You didn't come back and talk about his mama.
No, what I did is I told the guy because he's. So let me also say that generally speaking, when these clips are pushed out, they're not me talking. It's one of the other panelists, and that's why I begin to become defensive because they're talking about other panelists, and they think
on this podcast.
Yeah, they're talking about.
I want to know because when they talk about me, I want to know. I don't mind.
So it was a clip. It was a clip of you actually just saying, "Go vote, walk your ass out there to go vote."
And they didn't like
yada 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 yada.
They didn't like that.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, they
didn't like me telling people to go vote. They didn't like that part.
No, and that's what they can't take. And so
wait a minute, hold on. I'm telling people to go vote, and they said I shouldn't be saying that. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're assuming you're telling them to go vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that becomes a presumption. That's always the presumption is that we're telling somebody to go vote Democrat, and so I always walk them back, and I said, when did he ever say anything about voting blue or voting red?
But you know what? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what he's telling them to vote. They are bothered with your face and your skin.
No, wait a minute.
They don't care what you have to say. They see black people. They see the conversation. And then they're going in. If you're calling people monkeys and stuff, they're not sitting there sorting, saying, "Oh, he's the black person."
Hold on a second.
No party preference. They're not saying that.
Wait a minute. Here's what tickles me. If they came on and said that, obviously they haven't watched the whole time of us arguing because everybody knows that I'm not a Democrat. Hold on a second.
I think you're missing the main point here is that.
No, wait a minute. I ain't missed shit. But what I am saying is when that person made that comment and you said, "Well, did you watch that whole video?" Because that dude ain't no Democrat.
Yeah, I've asked. I've asked, like, "Hey, what did he say?"
Okay.
Well, I don't be like, "Hey, that wasn't me saying that I'm defending him." I'll just okay. I will be Richard today, and I'm starting to respond. Oh, that was a clip from Lynn. Well, then I'm going to be Lynn today.
Listen,
I'm going to be Steph today.
I really don't think when it comes to trying to cut somebody's neck off. See, I can look at y'all and y'all will get at somebody. I believe that. But when I get at a motherfucker, trust me, they'll be coming to my house. They'll be trying to run me out of office. They'll be trying to do something long-term to make an example because I got on their last motherfucking nerves. And when it comes to white people, just like I can get on black folks' nerves, please, you ain't seen shit I get on a white person's nerves.
Don't tag him, Jay Glass. He got
no. Again. I'm the older brother, so he already knows by him talking about this. It don't take much to get the older brother going, and he knows I'm coming. So he should have never brought this shit up in front of me. He should have waited till my black ass was off and then told y'all, "Well, I can't tell his ass."
That's what I was saying. They don't care, Richard. They don't care.
Oh, you make them care.
So I'm saying all that just to say we're gonna have a new segment called "What Did They Say on Facebook Today?"
Oh Lord! Oh my God!
And I'll start reading the comments because I actually find them somewhat entertaining because I know that if I was face to face, it would be a completely different story.
What you say?
A totally different story.
But you gotta crack them. But you know what? Listen, ain't nothing worse. Because I see all these videos of brothers sucker punching people and knocking people out, whether they black or white, and I hate those videos. Yeah, I tell them they should be voting. I hate that. It promotes violence. But you know, when you can crack somebody to where they can't shake you, like that boy Liberty. What's that guy? Liberty Church. Every time I crack on his ass, he runs. Every time I go into and I go professional with him, but he can't take the fact that I'm asking him to show some integrity and tell us what your fucking name is. He can't do it. You know why?
Because he don't want to lose his job.
His job? Okay. Well then,
I gotta end this live.
I was calm tonight for a reason.
Yeah, join us tomorrow.
When Juice said, "But Richard, where's the old Richard?" I said, "Tonight really hurts me when I'm really hurt, and I'm really hurt about this issue of the boycott and all this, because I know how it has black people arguing among other black people. This hurts me so bad that I have to maintain my professionalism and say, hey, black folks are going to do what black folks do, and I have to get over it. But hey, you know, it's just what it is.
So with that being said, as always, thank y'all for hanging out with us. We will see y'all. Some of us will see y'all next week. Some of us are going to see y'all tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the roast of Kevin Hart and how that all went.
Oh my God! I'm not coming to that. I'm not.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I gotta
watch it.
You have to watch it.
You gotta watch it.
If you decide to do a roast, that's on you.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm walking away.
So I want to watch it and see what the hype is, because I missed some stuff previous on other topics. So
watch the whole thing. Watch, because you know when you see snippets, it's like yelling fire in the theater.
Yeah.
But you know, like, watch the whole thing.
Is it good?
It was entertaining.
Is it entertaining? Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Like any comedy show, you know, some things are going to land, some are not.
Right.
Some are look, borderline distasteful.
Ooh, it ain't even borderline. Some of that, some of that stuff.
If you go back to the Don Rickles and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. roast, if you go back to those, that's what a lot of white America wants to go back to, when they can say the N-word and get away with it with no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why Chud got $1 million bail. But again, as always, thank y'all for coming out.
Good night, everybody.
Hanging out with us. Could have been anywhere else in the world. You decided to do that. So, yep. And we will talk to y'all later. Have a good night.
Y'all be good.